Hey everybody, it's Tad. Welcome to 2218's Attitude for Gratitude. I'm wishing you a happy Friday in this December season of the holidays. I hope you and your loved ones are safe and doing well. And you know, if Tad's here, guess what? I'm with my best friend,
Timmy J.
Hey, I just want to let you know that this is an interactive show, so just a friendly reminder, if you're watching us live and you have questions for myself, Tim, anyone in the room, especially our guest, who tonight is going to be Ron F. You want to say hi quick, Ron?
Hi, quick.
There you go. That's great. You know what? Tim, cut the promo. Promote.
Here at 2218, where you're hearing this podcast from right now, is the place where we hold meetings. It's where it's holding our podcast. It's the place that helps save lives. And we just want to put it out there that it's open to you to come help. Come help yourself down here. There's volunteer positions. We could definitely use some financial help. There's links that your young Matthew's going to be putting up on the thread tonight. Follow those links if you're able to donate. The club could really use it. Winter months are coming. Like I said, volunteer time. This is a nonprofit. I believe that you can come get hours, or I might be saying that wrong. You can get hours for community service. Yeah, definitely. Or just come down and volunteer. Be part of this. It's a great place. Like I said, it helped save my life, so I stand behind it wholeheartedly, like you hear me talk about every week.
So if you want to get a hold of me or Tim about said volunteer hours, about the show, we're posting our info. You can also reach me at tadackerman1@gmail. So that being said, hey, don't forget to smash that like button. Tell some people about us. Who should they tell, Tim?
They should tell
Mom.
everybody, like your mother and your father and your brother, anyone who
Little
could
Timmy.
benefit from anything recovery related. Just it's great for networking. This place is what, like I said, it saved my life, and we network here. That's what we do. It's one addict, one alcoholic, one person in recovery helping another, and that's what we do. We help each other. Closed mouths don't get fed, and we have to speak out. If you're hurting, you got to let someone know. You can find me at Timmy J. Warren on Facebook, and we're all going to have our numbers up on the threads as we do every week, so please reach out.
So how's Tim been? What's been going on with you?
I haven't been here. Last week we had the snowstorm of a century, and then a couple days later it was like 100 degrees out, only in Minnesota. But yeah, we didn't have that show last week with Rick B and Jesse. Then they will be back. They're going to be a recurring guest, but it was a tough decision to make last week with that. But I think it was kind of for the greater good. Drive is just the first big snowstorm of the year, and we're working on having shows or whatever recorded, so when that happens, we won't leave you guys hanging again like that when we have technical
Big
difficulties.
announcement on the Rick B and Jesse E side of things. At once a month, they will be on the show moving forward and be doing so on the first, which will be January, first month, they'll be doing step 1. So then in August, they'll be doing step 8. So in order, sequential order of the month, they're going to be doing the steps like they have with the 6th and the 5th before, and maybe we'll have to have 2 shows in the 5th month to cover or the 4th month or whatever it is to cover that. Because, they do it in 8 weeks, but we'll try and we'll do the best with what we have.
Yeah, I know you asked me how I was doing, and I went right into that type of stuff. But week was good. It was chill, a lot of work. That was most of my week was work. No big hiccups, no nothing. Made it to a few meetings this week and stayed in contact with someone at least once or twice a day in recovery. Stuck with my goals group. Did what I was taught to do to maintain my happiness. How was your week?
Phenomenal, dude. A lot of stuff with friends and family this week, and the girlfriend and friends too. Like Monday, I went to Monday Night Raw.
Oh, you did? How was that, my wrestling maniac?
It was pretty fun. It was actually super fun. Dead as crap.
Really?
Whole one side, nobody there, and they were moving people over to the other side for TV.
For camera?
Yeah, for camera reasons. They had all the cameras standing on one.
You know what? Eventually, we're going to figure out how to have video or pictures, or we can put scrapbooks up. But I'm telling you guys, Tad is shining. He's over here with his matching blue Reebok gear and his glove, his raw gloves.
AJ style.
AJ style. See, I'm not that into it. I don't even know what that
That's my
means.
favorite wrestler. He wasn't there. He just
What?
Yeah, at his show he wasn't there. They cut a little video of him and he wasn't there because of whatever storyline.
Is he a good guy or bad guy?
Right now he's kind of in between. He's training some big new guy.
Was it one of those deals where he talks shit about Minnesota on the
No,
big screen?
No, but
oh.
he might have if he was a bad guy. No, he was talking about his team. They had Gable Stevenson there, and now I've that Timberwolves game I was at.
Yeah.
Just about every sporting event that I've been to in the last month, Gable Stevenson.
Gable Stevenson's made it there?
Yeah, if you don't know who that is, he is an Olympic gold medalist. He is an NCAA Division I champion.
Oh,
real
wow.
Wrestling. So,
Did you ever get any FaceTime with him?
No, I just seen him and been in the same building with him twice. No big deal. But so that being said, like now he's signed to WWE. He's going to be a future superstar.
That's huge money.
Their hope is so. Kurt Angle was a gold medalist. Brock Lesnar is the other Division I champion. He is both those things.
He's
yeah,
the new
yeah.
one.
Yeah, so maybe they think like he's going to be a combo. I don't know. It's a cool little deal. He's a Minnesota boy, so we'll have another Minnesota homegrown superstar to root for someday. But like that. Went to Spider-Man yesterday with a couple of my friends and my girlfriend, and then we went out after CMA and played. A couple of us and played Uno at this little bar place, and it was the most freaking intense games of Uno.
Uno? Like Uno?
Yeah. We go to this place that has board games.
Yeah.
You order food, and
It's a great concept.
yep, and it's pretty fun. And so I brought some drug addicts with, and we went after a meeting, and we had the most freaking intense games of Uno.
Really?
Yeah, Mandy and my buddy Brian won. So
Dog walk.
they were each a freaking hour long, both games. Like that's
That's not
decks in our hands. Like it's just a lot of fun.
wowzers.
And you know what? I say this stuff. So like I went out with my wolf pack in recovery on Monday, and me and my girlfriend went out each with a friend, had some fun.
So it'd be easy to answer the question of do you have fun in recovery?
Oh yeah, Wednesday went and spent some time with my family, with my girlfriend in the middle of stressful Christmas shopping.
Oh yeah, fun.
Yeah, and then also, Thursday yesterday went out with a brother in recovery and my work buddy, my work best friend, and that's.
How's work been going for you?
It's a slow time of year, so I'm fully ready for the craziness of New Year's Eve, which if like
You guys are crazy. Do you have to work New Year's?
for 48 hours basically I'm working. They just asked me if my girlfriend would come work New Year's Day.
No
for
shit.
Cash to give change in the entryway and greet. So I gotta find out details.
Well, could they use another guy? Wait, this isn't checking
Probably.
time. Yeah,
Probably.
we'll talk after.
Yeah.
I could use cash.
Yep. And so I was gonna talk to both you guys about that, but that's time for another thing. So
Yeah.
Fanboy. I want to give Bunny a shout out. So it's, what up, Bunny? Bunny's going to be a future guest on our show at some point.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We'll talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that later.
So that being said, that's been my week, just doing a bunch of stuff in addition to, dealing with club business, dealing with sober house business, dealing with work business. I have a week off, so I have to do all these other things.
Right.
Keeping that a balance, we're still trying to. We had to get our house in order this week. Because
You guys hosting any?
no, but we've been moved in for over a month, and we're still. not
Oh,
unpacked,
boxes
so that's-
unpacked and stuff.
yeah.
I have one thing that well, you know what?
What up?
What's that like with the two of you unpacking boxes? Is it do you feel like doing it? No, do you? Is it easy to co-sign not doing it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd rather be sitting on the couch snuggled up to my baby than doing anything. So,
In your house cat, your
yeah, me and my. I'd rather be with my girls snuggled on the couch watching Netflix than doing anything else.
just Netflixing, chilling.
Yeah.
I do want to give a quick congratulations to Mr. Bob S. We've had him on the show a couple times.
Hey Bob. Yeah.
He's celebrating 25 years of continuous recovery. He plays a major role in my recovery. Many of people, our guests will talk about him a little bit. I'm sure it's Bob S. is a great guy, and he's celebrating 25 years, so we congratulate him on that clean time.
I'm gonna butt in here quick. Congratulations, Bob.
That's coming
Yeah.
from Ron.
Little joke that Bob would tell us all the time. That does include holidays
And weekends, yeah. And gel time and weekends count. Yeah, that's what he would always tell me. Unfortunately, he's having his campfire meeting, but it just ended at 9, so he said he was going to try to hop on. Either way, Congratulations. We celebrate clean time.
Love you, Bob.
Love you, Bob.
Love you too, Bob.
I think yeah.
You know what? We're going to get into our first segment tonight. This is a holiday special segment. The holiday special spectacular with Matt. And this is just Matt's little tips for getting through the holidays with Matt.
With Matt. Take it home, Matt. Let's hear it. Introduce yourself. Tell us what's up.
Hey guys, this is Matt. So my topic tonight is holidays with family, because I know like myself that how hard it can be to go through the holidays with family, like whether they're far away or close by. So I'm gonna touch on a few points here. So there's always gonna be struggles and triggers. Like the easiest way to get through those struggles and triggers is use your sober support network. Have someone come with you, no matter who it is, like a family member, a friend, a significant other. Always have someone that you trust with you in these hard times. Even if you don't have a family to go to, just hitting up a meeting here at the club or wherever you go to your meetings, go there if you need to. And also, stay in the moment and be present, because that's the most important thing about recovery. Being in the moment and being present with yourself, and always be safe. That's the best way to go through recovery. Always utilize your coping skills and your friends that you trust.
Yeah.
Matt out?
Matt out?
I'm out.
You did a hell of a job there, Matt.
Hell yeah.
I'm the first to say good job, Matt.
So if you didn't know, that was holiday tips with Matt.
Holiday tips with Matt.
Holiday spectacular bonanza. Matt got about 20 minutes to prepare for that, and with notes and things and directions that he was told to do, and he blew it out of the park.
I think he did. Good energy, good every. You know, we're judging him right now, right here, live. You know what? He did good.
He killed it.
Killed it. Kept it to under 18 seconds. And no, I'm joking. That was good though, dude. Matt, you hammered it, bro. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't sure. Good energy, bro. Fog, FUG. Good job, bro. So,
Without further ado, I think we bring the guest on, and
Let's-
we should
chop
Chop it
it up. Ron Boy's been waiting to hear that all night.
Where do you guys get that from? Huh?
It's Tad's baby. It's his baby.
It's just something.
So who we sitting with tonight?
My name's Ron F. and I am an alcoholic.
Welcome to the show, Ron.
Glad to be here. Absolutely.
We're glad to have you here. Get right on that mic. We always get
Hear me? Is it on there?
get close, just right like you see where I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah, we get
Put it
right
down
on.
his throat if you could. I'm the mic, you weirdos. Okay. So
We're the weirdos.
yeah, I'm the yeah.
There, okay.
What are you
So
talking about Midnight Raw, or was it called?
Monday.
Monday.
night.
Raw.
I had to hold off my Jesse the Body for a minute there. So.
What are you talking about? Who's that?
Jesse the Body?
Yeah, what
Come
do
on.
you mean?
I'm no longer Jesse the Body. I'm Jesse the Body.
Yes!
Oh.
Yes!
I couldn't help myself. Let's get back to recovery.
Any of your old friends that hear that are gonna be like, Feist. Oh, Ron.
That was amazing, by the way.
That was he's the bod. So Ron, talk to us. How are things going for you?
Things are going well. Busy part of the year for me. We run a family business and stuff. This is a very busy. We're an automotive toy and recovery business, so very busy right now, no doubt about it. I'm a snowmobiler at heart during the wintertime, of course, because you can't snowmobile during the summer. But
Oh, you drag race
waiting
during
for
the
snow-
summer.
Waiting for snow and waiting for things to freeze. I guess I'm one of those. I don't know. I'd like to call it a true Minnesotan, if you will. But yeah, we're keep busy as always.
You enjoy it when we get a lot of snow, to say the least.
I do.
Or-
Recreational wise too, but
Yeah. The pocketbook loves it too.
it helps too.
Heck yeah.
So, Ron, I sent you this big, long, drawn out this message welcoming you to the show and what to look forward to. Yeah, it does. Totally. It's like me. On there, it said something about if you had a couple things you'd like to talk about. You know what? We're going to put this right in your lap. How would you like to, what do you want to talk about tonight?
Throw it at me, baby. Today right off the bat, I kind of thought, as usual, when you're showing up for, it's my first podcast, but meetings and that kind of stuff, right away I thought of being spiritually fit. And being on the beam is what's been told to me, and what I've been, being on the beam and being present. I think you guys said being present in the moment. What Matt said over here earlier. So,
Yeah.
God challenges us in several ways. And today was no different. You know, I was gonna have a nice, easy Friday, and as far as business-wise, not to bore you too much here, but we had a couple trucks go down, air compressor go down. Everything was kind of just being thrown my way within a couple hours today. And, of course,
And you're not really at full staff either, are you?
no, not at all. And it's you know, I think everybody's looking for people, but that's a outside issue, I guess, in a way.
It's an open. You know what? Anything you want to talk about, you're open to.
So it's challenging enough. So God always likes to throw challenges at me and us, and that is a way to make me grow. And let's just say I found myself praying a little bit more than I normally would do. So praying for action, praying for what the next decision should be, taking a breather. We had mentioned coping skills earlier, and that's what the 12 steps are all about. One of the things that it's all about. So it helps us do things that we normally couldn't handle. So, but being spiritually fit. If I'm angry, if I'm discontented, if I'm fearful, I'm getting away from my Creator and getting back to what doesn't work for me, and I'm not as used to anybody, including myself. So,
All right.
But yeah, it was an eventful day, if you will. So, yeah.
Just the day, but so let's rewind kind of a little. How long have you been at this?
I just
The recovery thing. This.
I like to say celebrated, but I just an achievement. On October 26th, I celebrated, if you will, 12 years of continuous sobriety.
Yeah.
We always-
Congratulations. Yeah. Woo! There's a Wednesday night meeting that I
That's what Rick Rubin is.
yeah, it's
Ric
Flair. Rick.
Ric Flair.
Dude, you act like you don't know this stuff. This dude is a Ric Flair.
Sting did it too,
What a
yeah.
wrestling thing all of a sudden. Brings me back to the old AWA days, I guess.
Dude, you're acting like come on. You are a wrestling aficionado sitting next to a big. Someone already said Tad sounds so fanboy on that. Did you see that? You are though. You love wrestling. Come on.
I love wrestling.
And Ron's big famous thing I recall before 12 years ago used to be this thing. He always woo. That was a big Flair. I think it was even a text message notification on your phone.
It was.
Or is it still?
Yep, and it's
Is that where you got
and
all
that
those
same-
Ric Flair memes you used to
Yeah,
send me?
they were from him.
Yeah, I figured.
they were-
Yeah, see? But isn't that one of your message or a notification on your phone? Is it still, or did you change it?
I do still work it. Yep.
For certain people?
Yeah, and then I got a new phone here, and now I just have the stock,
The factory.
factory thing or whatever.
So 12 years ago, you got into this new life or this new way of living, but it's not. It wasn't foreign to you. I think when you came in here, you were talking about when you're. Well, let's see. Let me do the math real quick. So what? Like, 40 years ago, you were in the same room. You were saying?
Yes, it is. I've been here to 2018 here and there, of course, after not during the pandemic so much, well, at all for that matter. But I remember coming here. My father, on January 23rd, will celebrate. Where am I at here? We'll celebrate 44 years of sobriety.
Whoa.
God willing. Put it that way.
44 years.
So I remember coming down here, going to Alateen, thinking that the
What's Alateen?
Alateen is the children of alcoholics.
Okay.
They have a meeting for them, and it was my dad would come out here and be a sponsor. I remember walking through the door here, you could hardly walk. There was food being served, and they were singing around the piano. So I remember that, and I was probably 10 years oldish, roughly.
Really?
10, 11 years old. Dad got sober in '78, so that puts me at.
Yeah, because you're what, 60 now? 65? 7? No.
It's easy.
Ah.
Don't
And it was
look a
my
day
first-
over
it was-
40.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I appreciate that. But I went. That was my first, I guess, toe in the water, if you will. And of course, as I grew older and that kind of thing, and started to experiment, if you will, I thought that the disease might skip a generation, but let me assure you, it does not.
It does not.
Yeah, our memories here. Block parties, all that kind of fun stuff in the past. Yeah.
So you were a kid, you were going to introduce this stuff. I know we're not going to have him sit and tell his whole story, but there are parts that I know about that I think would be interesting to the audience. But like we fast forward, we all belong where we're at when we're in these rooms. We don't need to prove why we're here. They always say what it was like, when you go to share and tell your story. So when you got into recovery, though, I was telling these guys about kind of a synopsis of your earlier days. I said that you started some sober houses on your pink cloud. That was a way of wording it. But when you got in early recovery, would you mind telling us how your early recovery went with, did you do a treatment or how did that go for you?
I did. In the book, it reminds of us of either way, you make an obligation or you have an important engagement to meet. And then that first drink or whatever you want to substitute for the drink, first usage, whatever, and then all bets are off and I don't go to that engagement or I miss that engagement. And in my case, it can be anywhere from being in court to being at Christmas to being at somewhere I told a family member or any friend or whatever the case. The fact is that my drug of choice, which I have no choice over, didn't have any choice over at that time, that came first. So there went another lie.
Was that before you got into recovery? Yes.
Yep. So I finally had enough. So at that point, I went to New Beginnings for the third time.
Oh, so it wasn't okay.
Third treatment, I should say.
Okay.
I don't know. My story is my first treatment was
Yeah.
just to get my license back.
So you mean you
didn't
didn't
have
Google how to get sober and then get sober on your first try?
No, I didn't.
And
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
right. That's a shot at Tim.
That's
by
a
the way.
yeah. That was my story. But you know what, Ron? I lied when I said we're gonna skip right to after you got clean. I forget that you did this 3 times, and you were talking about when you introduced and opened, you were talking about a family business. You work for that family business, and then like your I always say addiction, but your alcoholism, your addiction, what have you. You ended up not working there anymore before you got into recovery, correct?
I did, yes. Yep.
I
I was separated from our family business. Let's
Okay.
put it that way. With a lot of resentment tied to that, as we could imagine, right? Because at this point,
Due to your addiction?
yes, absolutely. Just a quick history of me. I'm an alcoholic, and I was an alcoholic, and I also was a big fan of whatever else you might have.
Equal
My
opportunity and
Oh, absolutely.
user?
My-
Yeah.
Throughout my life, the only thing I really have not tried is heroin. I mean, let's just put it that way. At
Right.
different points in my life, but I'm, I don't know, simply put, I'm an alcoholic who was very fond of cocaine and whatnot. So,
Anything else?
Yeah, anything else that might, I'll try it at least 1,000 times. Right?
Yeah, I'll try it at least 50 times.
Yeah,
before
I like
decide
that
don't
one.
like it. Yeah.
One's too many, 1,000, yeah, the whole scene, I guess. But, at that point, I had gotten into sales. It was using at work, which is really no different from what I was doing for the previous 20 years of that.
But in your addiction, did you find your niche at sales while you were in your addiction?
Yeah, exactly. I think, boy, I don't know if I should even say this, but using and drugs actually go with sales. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be my.
For you, yeah,
experience.
yeah.
I guess. I don't
I mean,
know.
you won cars, didn't you?
I won cars when I was sober, and that's not. And I mean, we can talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get
the sober part, but I don't like to do too many drunkalogs, so to speak. Let's just say I earned my chair, and I was finally beat into a state of reasonableness.
There you go.
That was what happened to me. I remember going to a meeting. Crazy enough, I had my cocaine dealer kind of mentioned to me that you might have a drinking problem. I kind of looked at him like, oh, really? You're telling me I got a drinking problem? Well, God works in funny ways in my mind.
Right.
Yes, and it doesn't matter where it comes from, but that kind of opened my eyes a little bit. And then some friends of mine had a intervention with me at Champs back in the day in Maple Grove.
At the bar.
Yeah, at the bar, because they know I wouldn't come anywhere else, of course. So, but that was a start of me finally realizing I have an issue here. And then I will say this right now, as funny as it may sound or whatever, it takes something goofy to kind of make us finally open our eyes and finally surrender and understand we have a problem. I told my dad I was gonna meet him at the pancake breakfast for the North Suburban Al-Anon.
Yep.
Which no matter what I was doing, I would at least try during my usage to make that appointment.
You brought me there more than once.
Yep, I did.
Yep.
And I would, just do it for my dad and do it for me. Well, I showed up at noon because I couldn't get out of bed because I might have went to bed at 5 or 6 o'clock that morning.
Yeah.
And I didn't show up there, and I showed up there, and they're cleaning up. And Lord knows this is the first time I've done this. And maybe you all out there can relate to this, but the look on his eyes at me was enough to literally make me cry at the time.
The guilt.
The guilt and the shame, and I had every intention of being there. I was premeditating or planning to be there. I was going to take it easy that Saturday night.
Yeah.
I was going to do this, and it takes some, that's my story. I mean, that's the thing that finally opened my eyes, and he looked at me and he goes, "Are you ready yet?"
Really?
And that hit me. It it'd be hard. So, and then that next day, I talked to one of my friends that had intervention with me. A couple of my friends, and basically went to New Beginnings. Went to New Beginnings. I went there. A little kind of a funny kicker here is, right before I went, Dad goes, pick a sober date. And I go, well, October 25th. He goes, well, you were still using that morning. I go, yeah, you're kind of right. Let's make it the 26th. So
that was your when you went to that pancake breakfast?
October 26th, 09. Yep, and that would have been October whatever.
Yeah.
Because I stayed with Dad a couple days before New Beginnings got into New Beginnings.
That was the last goal?
And yep, and I knew. I don't know. I wanted to be done. I didn't know how it was going to happen. I knew I didn't want to take a drink again or use again. And I had no idea how to do this. And of course, I went to New Beginnings for 19 days. Got out on my dad's birthday. Celebrated my 40th birthday at New Beginnings. I'll have to thank them. They actually let me put candles, which is against their fire code. I think I probably shouldn't say this. Look, they let me put a couple candles on my cake. Trust me, I had different plans for my 40th birthday than spending it in treatment, but it was the best thing that ever happened. So, after leaving there, I moved into a sober house in St. Louis Park. I still talk to the guy that ran those several sober houses, and this was not a 3 strikes you're out kind of sober house. This was, you're coming in here, you're going to meetings, you are 4 meetings are required a week and 2 services a month, and I thank God for these guys out there. Mike Z, he's down in Florida now. But it was you were at the mandatory meeting, and you were at the mandatory meeting each week. And if you missed a meeting, you were going to be kicked out of the house.
They held you accountable to that rule?
Absolutely. And I was there for it was a commitment type of a thing, right?
So it was 4 meetings a week, 2 service positions?
2 services a month. Now, a service is I wasn't even 2 weeks sober, and they're bringing me 12-stepping. To hospitals at Park Ave and
12-stepping.
Bringing a meeting to somebody.
Okay. Yep.
12-step call.
Okay.
So we would, you never go by yourself. This
Yeah.
is just the way I've been. How do you say I've been trained and brought up in the
Yeah.
program? You go there with some people, and you. So we went to Salvation Army every Saturday. The 4 meetings a week was in my case was New Hope, Bloomington, Plymouth, and Brooklyn Center. And I went to those meetings all the time. In the services where either you went to a treatment center, detox, demission, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Or you went to the Park Ave, or you went to a service. So you brought the message, and it's a reminder you're there for service. And at the time, I didn't know I was on my step 1, if that.
Were you working at this time? Like, were you still
I went back to work.
the sales job?
Yep. They were supportive of that. I mean, in sales, I was pulling numbers, so. But even they were kind of getting the last of their straw because they,
Right.
It's not good when you come in smelling like booze, right?
Right.
And taking naps. So, anyway, they welcomed me back, and I engulfed myself in AA because we all talk about the 90 and 90 or what, 90 and 90, you get the 90 meetings in 90 days and all that. And what it's simply saying is occupy our time. If you were a drinker like we were, and used like we did, I have a lot of time to fill.
Right.
And I need to fill that time. I mean, it's just like I have to go to any length for victory of alcohol and drugs. And I like what Matt, Matt, that was awesome today about the holiday, because I got sober, came out of the treatment at November 18th. I don't know about you, but I hit it fairly hard on Thanksgiving Eve. If you
Who
will.
didn't?
So, not that I need an excuse for any of these days to do that.
Right.
That was just what I was.
Right.
Alcohol was always there. And everything else was whatever it was available.
Right.
So, I got into that. I mean, I went to AA a lot, and the people in that sober house was very helpful.
I mean, you were all in though, right?
Yep, I was all in. It was any length for victory over alcohol and drugs. I worked over in Northeast to over off of Stinson, whatever,
Yep.
and I drove past. Let's just say I drove past some of my favorite watering holes.
Oh yeah.
I was a big fan of Northeast, as you know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I had to take different rides home. I had to hop on the freeway, so I may want to drive past these places.
Kind of like Matt was alluding to, like
Absolutely,
safety
yep.
measures and
Safety measures and triggers,
escape routes.
as far as the, and again, thanks, Matt, for bringing that up. That's a very important thing right now. If you don't have an exit plan, don't, once uncle or cousin or whoever starts getting loaded after dinner, I need to leave.
Right.
Depending on what your situation is, I would just
Oh,
say,
yeah.
talk to some people in the program or talk to your sponsor.
Not to cut the story, but even at this point in your recovery, 12 plus years in, if you feel that way, you still have an exit plan, right?
Absolutely, for sure.
Because you still go hang out with family that's, you can't expect them to change their ways because you did.
Oh, I do, yep. And really, they at first are like, we can make a skeptic out of anybody.
Right.
Oh yeah, Ron's sober. He's sober for a few months now, and of course, I came out of New Beginnings ready to open my own treatment center, right?
See, I thought you did. I thought
sure,
not
yeah.
center, but I thought you opened sober houses. I thought.
Yeah, and I did. It was a little joke towards, I come out of treatment after 19 days, which has been the longest I've been sober since the Reagan administration. So I am.
And now you have
not
the
to bring up
answers.
Politics. We don't want to do that. Anyway, no, absolutely not. Tradition. So anyway, we.
Ah,
My point is I have not breathed a sober breath since the early days of high school.
right.
That's my situation, and that never stopped.
So you got this job over Northeast, going up and down Stinson, not going by the Moose, not going by Spring Street, not going by do. So then what?
So as I with the sober house, I had a commitment of 6 months, whatever the case. That was they asked you for a commitment. That sober house, the guy that ran that actually moved out of state, whatever the case. Blah blah blah. I took it over and started my own little sober house and did that for 6 years. And that was it can be challenging. You gotta remember it's love before you're concerned about paying rent and that kind of stuff, but it's got to be there's got to be accountability.
Well, and that's Tad.
But
He ran sober houses too.
some people. I mean, I was giving a place where I really needed to be, because a lot of us don't have places to go,
Right.
and a lot of us, in this case, of course, it's a men. It was a men's sober house, so girlfriend and wife may not want you back right away. They need a place to be, and frankly, we need to work on ourselves, no matter where we're at. So,
True that.
and it was it went well. I mean, it was
So you were at the sober house for 6 years?
I ran a sober house for 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
You moved out though,
Moved
sure.
out
And,
6 months from the sober house.
Okay.
So, yeah.
and then how long did you stay at that job for, the sales job?
The sales job lasted, I shouldn't say lasted, I was there for another 5 years.
It was that
I
long.
left there in 14, I believe. I still talk to them, thank them. They were.
You still play on a football league with them, don't you?
Absolutely. We have some tickets together with the owner there. They're good. They're normies. We all know who normies are out there.
Yeah.
They start feeling funny and they start drinking water at the game. I get a kick out of that. But that's okay.
They stop because they
yeah.
feel funny.
Yep, that's when we got going, right? So
Quitters.
It's
When I started feeling normal.
It was,
Yeah.
I left there. I have to probably say that Dad was not wanted to see some proof that his son was going to stay sober, and I just at some point waited for him to see what if I'd ever go back to the family business, which I've been back at since 2014, and that's just a gift. It's
To work with Dad again, and
day sobriety is everything in my life, and so is God. And I work my best each day. Sometimes I fall short, but sometimes sometimes sober and God's enough on certain days.
True that.
To put it that way.
yeah, because I know you. Well, you know what? Let's talk about hobbies in recovery. Because I know you have quite a few, like the fishing. You related to snowmobiling.
So I've done a lot of fun stuff. There's no doubt about it. Let's just rewind here real quick.
There you go.
I want to talk about. I piggyback on that, Tim. The first gift I received was, now I'm sober. I don't got to worry about cops anymore.
Nice.
That's a
My
good
experience
gift.
has been, oh shit, there's a cop. 2 and 10. I know I've had a few to drink. I got some stuff in my pocket. I don't get it. That was my first kind of gift. I didn't have to worry about driving or seeing cops anymore, and that's just the way I lived, which was messed up.
Yeah, with your eyes on the rearview mirror.
You can relate to that. How I only had one DWI in my life is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Amazingly unfortunate, probably. Maybe could have hit my bottom a little sooner, but whatever. But at least thank God I didn't hurt you.
It's when you stop digging.
So that was my first. That was the gifts. One of the gift, if you will. And then what pops in my mind right now is the relief. Okay, so I get out of treatment. I'm in the sober houses and all that. The meetings I'm going to, I kind of compare it to old school. Not that I really lived through old school, but I heard from old timers about this. But you weren't. If you didn't have any experience in the step, you didn't talk about it. You could share, but if you didn't have any experience, if
What do you
had
mean? Oh, wait.
experience, strength and hope on this. When I was in the meetings.
Okay,
Experience,
yep.
Strength and hope when I'm out there in the meetings and I'm new, and I'm quote unquote working the steps, which you do first.
Yep.
To me, you work the steps first, and then you live them to the best of your ability. If I didn't have any experience with that step, just the old classic. Big fan of shut up and listen. If you got something to say, say it, but don't give us any experience on the steps if you haven't been there, right? So whatever. I don't
Makes
wanna-
sense.
I don't want to ride that too much, but that's just the way I was brought up in this program. So I would attend that and go through the steps. I was assigned a sponsor.
You were
They said-
assigned?
They said, there's your sponsor right there. Didn't know him. We went out to dinner that night. He was 10 years my junior, and probably not a guy I would have picked. But a sponsor is pretty simple. Somebody that has worked the steps, has done the steps, and is living in the solution. I need somebody that lives in the solution.
Can I ask something
Opinions
quick?
can kill.
Can I ask you something
You
real
sure
quick?
get it. Yes, you-
So you're assigned a sponsor now. That's a different concept for some people here
Sure.
that are listening. And he's 10 years younger than you.
Yeah.
Was that a hit to your ego?
Perhaps a little bit, but I mean, in my case, and what I mean assigned is, they said, hey, there's your sponsor.
An
Meet
old
with-
timer.
No, they didn't say,
Who's they?
yeah.
That
The gentleman in the group,
okay,
I went to,
okay.
In the groups, the men's group I went to. They were very heavily unsponsored, they still are. I don't know if I should actually mention their group.
you can advertise whatever recovery meetings and groups you feel strongly about.
I get a lot of all the groups out there, but the men's into action group in Bloomington was, where I got one of my.
Weren't you part of Cold Blue? Didn't you
And we
help
started
start?
Blue after that was a big book, Study in Action.
Yeah,
I've been
it was a lot.
to that men's into action group.
Yep.
that's in Bloomington, right? You said, yeah.
Up on 98th Street there, yeah, so perhaps some of them are listening tonight, I hope, but, either way, but that was, to me, there's no such thing as a bad meeting out there, I can get something out of every meeting out there.
Right.
It all depends on what I'm looking for, and to me, it's about steps and getting in the solution. It's not a sprint race, but to me, there is a sense of urgency, because if I'm not doing the work, I'm sitting with nothing, I'm sitting with no solution, because I'm not drinking or using right now. And alls I have is what's between my ears, and that's a bad neighborhood.
Yes.
The neighborhood's a little better now, but that's a bad neighborhood when I'm coming, when I still have bubbles in the brain from treatment, right?
Right.
Well, and I think it's obviously a better neighborhood 12 years down the road and when you've done work.
Yeah.
And whatever your situation. But we can still be our own freaking worst enemies if we're. That's why I have people I talk to. I have people, and also like something that I've been recently working on, and so has the person across from me, Tim, is learning how to be a good friend because we didn't know, and so me and Tim have been like, not just bouncing stuff off of each other, learning how to be a good friend without co-signing the other person's bullshit and without hurting their feelings, but things that normal people might do.
Yeah, normies.
Yeah, things that might be natural, but like and we're not trying to hurt each other's feelings when we're being honest. But if I see the fact that Tim wearing a Talent Scout shirt is dramatically fucking impacting his life, I'm gonna say, dude, take that fucking shirt off. You're fucking having all sorts of ego problems because of it.
But you know what? I think like you alluded to it just now, and Ron's been talking about it. It's like our surroundings. I was told find someone. My sponsor situation getting out of treatment was a little goofy. I think it was my mother may have called you and said, "Hey, Tim's in treatment. Could you be a sponsor?" It's something to those lines. Man, I know my mom may have reached out to you, but you're the only person I knew in recovery, and I asked you to sponsor me, and we hit it running, But you surrounded yourself with people in recovery. It was someone in recovery that pointed out someone and said, "There's your sponsor." It was people in recovery that I guess would step 12 they gave you something that was given to them,
Right.
which you've done now, that you do continuously. Like I know you when I started getting on your case about sponsoring me, like I think at that time, like I'm not saying you weren't in meetings as much, but I know like what I'm getting at is what working with others does for your recovery is then you're being held accountable to showing up every Wednesday to that meeting again. Or like I know now you said you've been going back to that meeting quite a bit. or other meetings, and you get engulfed back into recovery, or you have been, but your dad's in recovery. You've got people all around you in recovery. You surround yourself with that, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you stay in touch with them.
Yeah, for sure. And this just pops in my mind. It's a little off keister.
Off keister?
Keister. Where did keister come from? Not sure.
Your ass.
Dad goes, yeah. My dad says that. This is some of the old school stuff, I guess. But he goes, you come in a big wheel, you end up a hubcap. He'd say
You
that.
come in a big wheel and you end up a hubcap.
Another thing, say, referring to the newcomers, the most important people in these rooms. They add spice to our life. Like all my all the sponsors I've had in the past, and I have now. Tim, you're a blessing in my life. You open up more understanding for me with the program and challenges and that type of thing with life in general and the program itself. So, and then I want to go back to the spirit. The idea with the 12-step programs is I need to find a solution. I've taken away my solution, and my new solution is a higher power of my choosing. And I need to supplant that with what I choose to call God, and anybody can call whatever they want out there, but it needs to be something bigger than me. So my first spiritual experience, if you will, because that's what this is all about.
Yep.
A psychic change to a spiritual experience, a change in thinking, a change in personality through spiritual experiences, and eventually a spiritual awakening. This is I had a spiritual experience by finally being sincere about I am an alcoholic. Brings me back to my first treatment, my outpatient treatment, where I was just trying to get my license back, where I said it like it was kind of funny, making a joke about it to a certain extent. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic, or I'm Ron, I'm an alcoholic, and my problem is Ron, and I got all these different kind of words I want to say. I am no different than any other alcoholic out there. That's why I simply say my name is Ron, I'm an alcoholic. There was a spiritual experience in all the steps. I busted into this, I guess, a little bit. We kind of all read and hear the 9-step promises. Of course, we have to work for them, and you have to do the previous steps to get to that point, and take action on those steps to get to that point. But let's not forget, there's a promise, and if not more than one promise in every step. So let's keep that in mind.
So,
We don't got to work all this just to get to 9.
Yes.
There are spiritual experiences.
There's
along the
rewards
way.
along the whole
That
way.
is the whole idea.
Yes. Two things. One is
Yes.
I wasn't looking for a pat on the back when earlier. I know I'm a blessing in your life, but
Well, it's more of it's a challenge more than anything, Tad, right? No.
Oh yeah, I can tell you.
hey, shit on Tim Hour. So listen, what I want to rewind back to you, the higher power, because I try to regurgitate what you once said to me about that, and I never get it right. But I know you've worded things in specific ways when someone comes in with that being the hurdle, the big hurdles. Well, I don't believe in God. I don't believe in God. And what do you say when you're working with a sponsee and that's the big holdup for them? What is your take on all that?
The holdup, these first 3 steps can be done fairly quickly.
Yep.
Can be with a full understanding.
But I don't believe in God.
But yep, if you don't believe in God, then if I can, how do I put this? If I can get out of a sponsor, just sit and talk to them about that. And if I hear anything to the point of where I'm angry at God, or God's done me wrong, this and that, and then I would just simply say, how could you be angry at something you don't believe in? That's
a good
to
one.
me. Or if and I'm stealing some stuff from a speaker I heard at Gopher State here a couple years ago, and the guy was, whatever, they're all awesome, but anyway, if you're really so hung up on this, number one, I think you have some prejudices that you need to let go. It comes down to the set-aside prayer in my book, a little bit, I guess. In my book, it sounds kind of ego, but anyway.
We know nothing about ego.
Yeah, really. God, let me set aside everything I know about life. I was like, oh my gosh, I should have brought my book in here. Somebody tried.
Huh.
Let me set aside everything I know about God, life, and you, that I may be open to a new experience. And the idea is I gotta push away all that stuff that was either rammed down my throat to a certain extent religiously or from parents or whatever. We have to remember they're only trying to be good parents.
Right.
If you have some hang-ups, you need to get rid of that. It actually says this in the book.
Yeah.
We agnostics. We would, if you don't believe in God or higher power, or whatever the case, you just need to be willing. And the simple thing is, and of course, I'm going to steal this from the book because
Yeah.
it kind of works, right? Like for 80 plus years. If I have enough faith that I'm going to hit that light switch over there and the lights are going to come on, that's all I need.
Faith.
And if I don't even believe in that, is there even are you even willing to possibly, maybe think possibly there might be something bigger than yourself out there? I don't really know anybody that couldn't say, okay, I don't believe in this quite yet. I may even came here, kind of like me in a way. I even came here to prove this program wrong. I'm getting a little excited here. But
Yeah, I love it.
yeah, but is there even just a little, just say the prayer, just say it.
Say
you know?
it.
So if it's just a way of being open-minded, and to me it kind of boils down to a certain extent of how desperate I am.
Gift of
How much of my inner resistance and not willing for a new experience, and frankly how beaten up I am to at least to accept help. So, I had no problem with that. I'm pretty much a simple guy for the most part, I think. I can't, sit by a lake or sit by an ocean or whatever.
There we go.
And look at stars and know there's heavenly bodies out there, and of course I like to see proof too, right? But I can't help but think that there's not something out there bigger than me.
Right.
That I don't, whatever. Call
Well,
me where you want, simpleton or something, whatever. I just look out there and say, there's something out there.
Right. You said it.
The Milky Way just didn't drop out of some other universe or whatever. Blah blah. Blah.
There we go.
That's
The stars and quasars and shit.
What's a quasar?
I mean, you gotta remember.
Rhymes with
something.
stars.
You gotta remember something. I'm the smartest kid in summer school, so don't.
Hey, at least you're
It's a feistism. That I wanted him to get to that.
My sponsor, my first sponsor was very smart, sharp, really
Yeah.
sharp. So I know I wasn't gonna bullshit him. Too much.
Right. Pull one over on him.
Yeah, I know.
I wanted you to get to
Hard
that.
to snowball a snowball.
Because that's what you said to me about, and I didn't have a hang up on any of that shit. I just was picking your brain at the time 4 years ago. Was you said it about a beautiful sunset, the stars, mountains, all these beautiful scenery things, and you somehow equated that to something greater than myself.
Yeah.
And however you put that, I always try to regurgitate that to someone.
In the book, of course, it talks about atoms racing around this and all that. And
Yeah.
it just goes way over my head. Some of those paragraphs are too deep for me still. But it works. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
And I do. I believe what you've given to me was a lot about the willingness. Is that you helped me recognize that to be willing. As long as I'm willing, you're off to the races.
I mean, would it be, what am I trying to think of here? Not what word am I thinking here? Like, would it be the first time that I didn't believe in something and did it anyway? Would that be the first time that you were hypocritical, Ron? Probably not. That's for sure. Because it's, when we're new to this program, and even though I saw it work with my family members, including my father,
Right.
that I was still somewhat skeptical and didn't really totally believe. Like, I saw all these, when I went to my first meetings, of course, I'm like, and I know I wanted to be sober, and all that, and I did not want to take another drink here. That I just looked at everybody, and I'm like, God, can these guys seriously be sober? They're having way too much flippin' fun,
Right.
And I'm like, wow. Well, and of course, I think, we're attracted. We're attracted by the fellowship first.
Yeah.
We're in a lot of cases we're normally, it says that we should go out there and reach out to the newcomer. We need to take the first step in this to get them, to help them, to lead them to water, if you will. Our first taste of sobriety is fellowship sobriety. Now you can, that's fine, but that's not my solution yet. But I'm attracted by that. I'm attracted by the attraction of the people. They think like me. They're like me. They've been through some stuff with me. I can relate to them when I can't relate to a normal drinker. They're just like, you can't, dude, quit drinking.
Right.
What's your problem? I come in here in these meetings and people get me.
Right.
And that's
You're not
what we're
alone.
that's what we're attracted
Right.
by first.
Yeah, not being alone.
Exactly. Really huge there, Tabby. Don't feel alone anymore. These people start to become a big part of my life, and they're going to help me save my life, along with my higher power, as I continue to go to some meetings, and finally start doing some work here. And one of the guys there, he's I was new, really new, first time kind of going to meetings and all that. And he goes, the 3 most important words in the book are on top of page 112. So I turned to it. It says, "Read this book."
Yeah.
So I got a
Yeah.
kick out of it.
Read
But,
this book.
There's a lot of things there. And then, of course, my sponsor was smart enough not to throw too many prayers in my book, in my small mind, whatever. But I kicked it off the acceptance prayer, and I would carry that around with me on a card in my early days of sobriety.
Can you share that?
I can't recite it if you want to go that far.
I like pulling the cards
Page
though.
417.
Yeah, well, it's
Well,
page
that's the
17, yep.
what the whole page. Acceptance is the answer to all my prayer.
It's about a doctor, but acceptance is the answer. And it's yeah.
When I find any person, place, or thing.
Acceptance is the answer to all my problems today.
That certain place or thing is exactly where it should be. Yeah. Yeah.
It talks about basically if you can't accept something in God's perfect world, it's because of your inability to accept it and
Yeah.
where you are.
And the sooner you realize
I
this,
got to change my attitudes and beliefs.
And the sooner-
yes,
And when you realize something is exactly as it should be, then you'll be all right.
then you'll be all right.
You'll be all right.
And I got that one, then I got the third step prayer, of course. So
Oh, I take my will and my, or
I offer myself to thee to deal with me and do with me as
I
thou
love
wilt.
that one.
Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that I may bear witness to those who would help with the power they love and thy way of life, may do thy will always. And you can shorten that up.
yes,
God's
but
will, not mine.
But when we got to that, it was odd for me, for my sponsor, who I've known way before 12 years ago,
Yep.
and the experiences we have, and he said, all right, now we kneel and we're going to say a prayer. This was not normal for me. It was scary. It was, but welcoming. I was really willing. I wanted this, like anyone who gets to that point and is meeting every week. But it was a big point in my recovery, is learning that type of stuff. And acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, it's because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some phase of my life unacceptable to me. And I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens on God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism or addiction, I could not stay sober unless I accept life completely on life's terms. I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as what needs to be changed in me and my attitudes. Now, the thing about what I did there when we said alcohol, I had a sponsor who knew I was a heroin junkie. He worked with me in the big books of Alcoholics Anonymous. When we come to a spot where it'd say alcohol, he would read it, but he'd say, or addiction. You always manage to make it easier. Like when you work with people, like what was given to you so freely and you help give it to others, is that you do try to accommodate for those situations? Because I know you've had tons of sponsees over the years. Sure. Tons. Do you go to any lengths to help that newcomer? Or, I mean, your experience with sponsees,
Yeah, but it
we've
comes-
geared.
Yeah, and it comes down to experience. I can't share something I haven't had experience with.
Right. I know that you did.
You
Yeah.
can get into this singleness of purpose stuff, all that kind of thing, whatever. But I don't really, I don't know. And alcohols, and we get. I don't know. I'm just gonna say it.
Say it.
Alcohol addicts and all that. You're an addict. Get over it.
Right.
So, I've yet to see an addict use alcohol responsibly. Maybe they're out there. I haven't seen one yet. I'm just gonna say it. I don't want to offend anybody out there. But anyway, you might think I'm
This
full
is your.
myself or
Yeah,
that.
this is just your experience.
This is my experience.
There you go. Yes.
I am by no means a pro or the Holy Grail. Far, far from it. Trust me. Just let you know my experience. But but I'm there to help.
Yeah.
To lend help. I can relate to them on certain. If you're talking about AA, would be outside issues, but I relate to that, and I'm going to be there for help. If I can help somebody, if I can be the channel for somebody to find the power they need, and I believe that we need it. If you can do it on your own will, you don't need the anonymous. I don't care. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't say I don't care. It doesn't matter if it's overeaters or all the other anonymous groups. If you can do it on your own will, then God bless you. I wish I had your will.
Right.
Right. I wish I could.
If you need this, come and get it. We're here. But yeah, I would offer my help to almost, not almost. I would offer my help to anybody.
And
Yeah.
I know. So my sponsor, Jason, as he's been sober around the same time as you, and he was trying to help get me sober for damn near 10 years, and got a relationship with my mom. But so what I know of him is he belongs to a church, and in the Christian community, he's helped people with porn addictions, with eating addictions, things, walking them through the 12 steps and getting them closer. And those aren't his struggles, but he's been willing to help other
Right.
people. And I know
Be that conduit.
Him and his wife, not a couples therapy, but that working on your relationship. This is how we did it because we had a strained relationship.
Shared their experience.
Yeah. And so I've seen him do that, and I don't know. I just personally, I'm gonna side with Ron here and just say, you never know who you can help.
Yeah.
Don't and I've said this often too when people have tried to stick me in boxes or groups. I'm not gonna limit myself to who I can help by sticking myself in a box
Right.
or
Or labels
or
or
labels. I believe, and that's one of the reasons I'm here at 2218 in the middle of the city, because I could believe I can be helpful here.
yeah. We've had extensive conversations about that.
I've had people ask me, with certain I'm Native. Just start identifying to Native and just go to Native groups, and you'll be well. I identify as a person, and I believe I can help everyone, and that's just my journey. And it's nothing against any one group, any one place. I just believe that here, right now, and this could change next week. It could change next year.
Sure.
If I live in Duluth, I'm obviously not going to be helping people in the inner city, even though, I would love to. But, that's, what is that, a 2-hour commute? I'm probably not going to do that every day to help people.
No,
Right.
yeah.
So, and things change.
But now we're blessed with Zoom and other means
Oh, yeah.
of helping too.
I got a question for Ron, unless you.
No, I have one. After you're done, someone texted me one.
Can you talk about, so I imagine in your time now in recovery and with all the things that you've done, from the sober house things to helping people, that you've had to learn to be super flexible. That's what I'm hearing. You've had to be flexible and accepting of people. What's that like to go from where it was, where you came from, to where now you're super flexible? And do you even view yourself that way?
Yeah, the flexible is.
Get on your mic closer.
There you go. This thing gonna be right here.
It's with
Right?
people
You're good.
and,
Go.
and
I'll
helping
take care of
them
you.
and having to
Testing,
adjust
1,
on
2,
the
3, testing.
having to adjust on the fly.
There
Oh, there you go. He's moving me over and everything. Thanks, Tim.
real close to it. That one has problems sometimes.
That's okay. All right, cool.
You know how to handle it.
Can you hear me now? I hope so.
Yeah,
Huh?
you're better. You're better.
I think so. Okay. As far as flexible, what kind of pops in my mind here a little bit?
Because I was super rigid when I first got into recovery, and I'd put all my eggs in one basket, and I'd be unopen to suggestions or changes unless I believed in them.
Yep, and right away what pops in my mind is living on an altruistic plane, and that's being selfish, or that's being selfless, that's being in service of others, and that was not the way I ran my life before my 12 years. If I did something, I was getting something out of it.
Right.
Or I was just in a cloud, didn't give two shits. That's my experience with that.
So from being,
But
go
being
ahead.
flexible, there's tough love, I guess you can say. When it comes to being flexible,
'Cause there's probably certain hard boundaries as a sponsor, as a sober house,
yep.
running as a business.
As a
Yeah,
sober-
the
just to-
business owner thing.
Just to talk out loud,
Yes.
just to kind of lay it out there. Being a sober house is a part-time job.
He-
It can test your spirituality and make you grow. It
could be a full-time frickin' job.
I've had to make several trips down the road here to 1800 or now over to the Mission Detox.
I'm telling you, you too. Yeah, go ahead.
We've done that. I've done that a lot. It's out of love. I'm not gonna. We do not shoot our wounded, or do we cheat them out of their bottom.
Yep.
And that's just simply the way I understand, and I could be wasting another opportunity if I
Right.
don't do that. when we were talking earlier about this, about you guys, you two were, Tim and Taddy were talking about you guys talking about each other and call each other out of their bullshit kind of thing, right?
Yep.
So, which we do, and that's, some of the groups would do, all the groups I went to, somebody, especially early on when I was flapping my mouth too much.
I have to
Whatever.
run my shit by someone
Yeah.
else, not just because I never know what the fuck I'm gonna pull on myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once in a while, I'll pull something on myself that's unacceptable, and
Yeah.
I'm good at tricking and lying
Oh,
to
for
myself.
sure. Oh, for sure. And they pull you to the side, and I love that. And I've done it too. This is just a saying. This is my experience. I would rather offend you than bury you.
There you go.
There you go. I
And if
love
that's,
that.
and of course, offending, we might make too
Well,
hard of a-
we're in a world
too
nowadays
hard-
where, yeah.
You're right. It's too hard of a vocabulary. In other words, I would rather tell you the experience I've had, and that you may want to look at this, and you may want to change what you're thinking on this. And here's why I'm doing this out of complete love and compassion in my experience, not trying to whatever. I want to just open your eyes to something like this. Another term too that and this is the men's group. but-
You're so sugarcoating things. I love this.
You need to punch him in the gut to bring your hands down.
Ah,
Wake you up. This is,
Yeah.
sometimes we need.
Don't anyone go out there punching people in the
No,
guts,
we're not
though.
talking physical here.
No.
You kind of see what I'm saying. That it's to me, it's the tough love, and it's I'm gonna tell you the way I've experienced this, not based on my opinion, but based on what I've seen in my experience and the rest of my network and the rest of the people that I know that are successful and are continuing to work this program. Hey, I've even heard it said in groups or even at fellowship and that kind of stuff, or guys aren't quite sure. They've been to 10 different treatments. We've heard their story. We finally got to say, dude, get over it.
Right.
You're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Even though it says, I get it, says in the book, whatever, that this is the only disease we actually diagnose ourselves to a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
The first 60 some pages that are all about step one, whatever. But eventually, someone needs to knock somebody over the head.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not physically.
Not physically. I mean, I hope I'm not going whatever. That's just the
every
way
time he says
I
one of
was
these
brought
things,
up.
I'm halfway across the table to hit Tim, and he keeps
So,
stopping me.
And that's why you would, it reminds me in treatment where people wanted to leave, and you'd have the against medical against medical
AMA,
Yep,
against
so
medical advice.
I was on that when I was in treatment, whatever.
Right.
So we'd pull a guy away and go, hey man, stick around here. What you got to lose? The stories I hear from you. You qualify.
Right.
You qualify in every avenue.
Well, I think you got a big bowl of it the day you chose to stop. The old man said to you, you had enough.
Yep, exactly.
And
It's painful for us, and that's why that's why we go to that extent to make people, because at this point you can't tell the real from the true from the false. That's, by the way, that's another gift in early sobriety. Is I don't get to lie anymore.
Yes.
Anyway, I don't get to lie about anything anymore. Now, even now, I am far from perfect. I can tell a little white lie or whatever. And isn't it funny how sometimes the truth would have worked better in the first place?
Always.
Like always.
Um,
So, anywho, but
the question I have from one of our listeners privately messaged me and asked, which I think goes to some of what you're talking about, to their character. And what the question was is someone who's, when you're saying about the lies and the, this new freedom, people hear about gifts and they think instantly, a new car, I got a bank account now, I got a girlfriend. No, we're talking about some real shit like hopes and, these things you're talking about, like not worrying about police or being able to not lie anymore. These gifts are different. This has nothing to do with my question. Has to do with dry drunks versus the question here. Let me just, the question is, please ask Ron, does he believe that a dry drunk is someone who's not working a program versus someone who's been in the program for multiple years, may have worked the steps, but has slipped away from working the steps or the program, but sticks around the rooms? I think of someone specifically, but you see with the question there.
yep, we hear that term a lot.
Can you turn into a dry drunk after working the steps?
You absolutely can. In my, I guess, let me think here for me. Whatever. If I think too long, whatever.
Quit sugarcoating
Get
it.
in my head too much. Well, when you refer to dry drunk, you're normally referring to somebody that might be cranky or whatever. or
That what? Just
upset
set the
or
bottle,
angry.
bottle down and doesn't work a program.
Yep, it's the plug in the jug deal. Backseat AA, if you will, would be, they're, they may have lived, they don't have normally don't have to me, they're a step away from drinking. Yes, they're a step away from drinking. They are holding on, white knuckling it. They have no solution. Or in this case, they may be, well, here's the thing. You look at how you are in the three stools of AA, service, recovery, and unity.
Yep.
Where am I falling short? If I've done these steps, and I'm just referring, I guess I'm referring to the ninth step. If I get to the ninth step and I read those promises, but I don't feel any of these yet, or maybe just a couple here and there, maybe some of them are light, that means I need to go back and do more work. And I've been there, and I'm kind of there right now. This has all been a tough year for a lot of us. I really don't care where you come from. There's nothing substitutes in my mind live meetings.
Right.
What you guys are doing.
Human
What you guys
interaction.
are doing here is fantastic.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that there's nothing that's hand in hand. I'll be honest. I miss the hugs.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
Miss Jimmer's hugs out there. Right?
Oh, that tight son of a bitch.
Yep,
This
so-
skinny
but-
tat, he's
but,
built like you, and he hurts me when he hugs me. He hurts ya.
Oh, yeah.
Hugs so goddamn tight.
And there's nothing better than when you can see a person's eye to eye.
Yeah.
Right. But to more to the point, I mean, dry drunk. It's thrown on so much that it's just it's your attitude and your spirituality. I would imagine and I've been there.
I guess.
My past
I've been there
recovery.
I've been there crappy where I haven't been as receptive. I'm too busy, wrapped up in myself.
Yeah.
Probably in the middle what am I saying? Middle of a pity party.
Oh yeah, we. I guess that could have been two different questions, but the other one is
Sure.
that basically, and I think it's a no-brainer. But let's say someone with 12 years works the steps in that first year, and then just comes to meetings, doesn't work with sponsees, doesn't work with sponsors, maybe some old timers in specific groups. They could be back to a dry, irritable, discontent, grumpy. Just you can basically turn back into what we quote as, I got air quotes up, a dry drunk.
Yep, and I'll quick say this, and maybe I already did, but I mean, to me, you're either growing spiritually, or you're going back to your old ideas.
There you go.
When you beat a plateau for a while there, I guess you probably can, and this is my experience. I've been there. To me, a lot of us come in this. Some of your best sponsors aren't your 30-year-old sponsors in my book. Men and women come in this program, and I've seen them all come in here, and on all the
Fellowships.
groups,
Yep.
whatever, that they're on fire.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
got the book fresh in their mind. They're working with people, sitting through and going through the book, and that's what sponsorship is all about.
Yeah.
So I don't want to grade, whatever. I mean, I don't know what 15 years of sobriety is. I don't know what I'll be doing. I have just today. I have 12
Yeah.
years and a few months or whatever. I'm just concentrated in living in the moment, like I love what you guys said earlier. If I'm not on the beam, like I kind of open here with, if I'm not being spiritually fit, there's something wrong with me. This is a we program,
Yes.
but it's up to me to do the work and continue to do the work. In one of the groups I went to, we're actually on step 10, which is kind of cool. But anyway,
Well, yeah, and
it's funny how these things come up.
and they come together too.
Yep, for sure.
So I think we passed the specific time of the night.
Oh, and then working with others automatically brings me through the steps again.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So,
Well, the time doesn't really matter.
you let me know.
Oh no, we still
We're
got
gonna
time.
Transition into a segment and then get back into the show. I just wanted to say, tell a quick story, I guess. So when I had 3.5 years when I was in my mid-20s, and I lived up north, and in the middle of that time, my grandma called me a dry drunk at my kid's first birthday party, and it pissed me off. It pissed me. I have never been so mad, and I was being a dry drunk. I was. So, Grandma, you were right, and I'm sorry for being a jackwagon. But, hey, we're in the middle of the show about, and we got a segment. Now it's that time of the show where we go for tidbits with Timmy.
Tidbits with Timmy. Dun dun
I didn't
dun.
cue up any music, my bad, but you know
Dun
what?
dun dun.
And here we go, Timmy!
Nts, nts.
Are you all ready for this? Ouch.
Ron's got it. Few things first. We want to start with is what I was telling you guys earlier that I thought the dryer was shrinking all my clothes, but it turns out it was the refrigerator. Okay, so
Crickets. That's
oh,
funny.
all of them are
He tells dad jokes.
dad jokes to start up my tidbits.
I like it.
But I am writing out letters for Christmas. I got one that says, "Dear Matt, grow up and solve your own problems."
Why are you picking on me?
I only know 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So tonight, what I wanted to talk about is commitment and sacrifice. Serious. I'm going through some things in my life that are new, and it made me think about this too when Ron was just talking. That I don't know what I look like I don't know what it is at 15 years. You know what? Today is the first time for me. This is the first time I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing. Everything's new for me every day, every second, every minute. It's a new minute of my life that I've never experienced in the past. It is common sense, but it's the truth. It's like any picture I take is a picture from the past, no matter what. So, like I was saying, balance and commitment. Like I've had a big taste of what that looks like, and it's new to me. So it's something what I did, and Tad was talking about it. Like you reach out to your friends. I had to reach out to quite a few people in recovery. I'm in a new relationship, not sure how to manage my time properly. Because up until this point, it's always been on my time. It's been on Tim time. I've had a job that I'm accountable for, but it was up to me to deal with it, my hours, whatever. I go to meetings when I want. Up until just recently, I was only accountable to myself in my own timeline. But now, like, I'm in a relationship, so this is all new for me, and this is where this sacrifice comes in of now I'm not only accountable to my own time. I can feel a certain way, but it still comes down to my actions. So what I can say on that is basically reaching out to people in recovery. I think I even shared with Ron about my situation. I know I've shared with Tad. I reached out to some people in my goals group because I almost burnt up a good relationship over my time management. Like, it was that easy. I didn't know what was happening. Before I knew it, certain parties weren't happy, thinking they weren't important to me, and that wasn't the case, but my actions didn't align with the way I felt. So in came some sacrifice, and I just had to figure out, I had to take some time and reach out and get some advice and information from other fellow addicts, and that anyone. I guess, yeah, I brought that for you.
Oh.
What's up, girls?
Thank you.
Hi, Taylor.
I was thirsty.
Hi, Taylor. So that's my tidbits this week.
Hey, before
I had
we
one
go-
last. Yeah, do you have any good
I
dad
got
jokes?
jokes.
Yeah, I got one I want to end with, but
What kind of jokes?
just easy, plain, good jokes. You can tell dirty ones if you want. Tad, go ahead.
Okay, why did the anvil get sent to AA?
Why?
Because he always got hammered.
Ah,
my
Where
God.
did the alcoholic battery go?
Where?
To an AA meeting.
To an AA meeting.
After
Double
the-
A batteries, get it?
Yeah, after the AA meeting, the ghost finally admitted he has a booze problem.
How do you get a squirrel to
These are
like
so
you?
Bad.
Act like a nut.
These are really
Any
bad.
daddy jokes? Run.
I got one more.
Go ahead.
Oh my God.
I've joined Alcoholics Anonymous. I now drink under a different name.
You're fucking.
What? What do you call somebody with no body and no nose?
What?
Nobody knows.
Yes!
All right. And you know what that was?
Please tell me. they're
Tidbits
over.
with Timmy.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun.
Dun, dun.
All right. So we've got our. Oh, go ahead.
If you didn't figure out, my sister has joined us in the middle.
Yes,
So
we
Hi,
got our
guys.
special guest here.
Like she
Tara,
has been
Ron, that's Tara. Tara, that's Ron.
Hello.
All right.
Tara is joining us mostly until she moves to an undislocated.
She's going to Atlanta. Sorry, I'm busting you out.
Atlanta?
I know we're not. gonna
Ew.
say it, so-
We're trying to
Oh,
tell different.
she's going to Hawaii. All right.
Hawaii
moving to the
sounds
moon.
great, bro.
Mexico.
That's too far.
You're good.
You're fine.
Right now.
Speech impediment, Matt.
You guys are rude.
All right.
So, We got
Huh.
Ron. We got Tara here. What do you want? What do you guys want to talk about now?
Oh, I'm hot right now. If y'all wanna.
I'll break it on us. Ron
I'm
can
hot.
Ron can help you with some spirituality. Let's hear it. Why are
am
you so
hot.
upset?
Why am I
Yeah, what's
upset?
going on, Tara?
Because I'm kind of irritated.
Right
with-
on the mic.
Right on the mic.
That's what we
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
Right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
serious.
Okay. I'm kind of irritated right now because I'm a woman and I'm sick of being a woman in the program. So the thing that I'm irritated with right now is that like I can't go to a meeting without like being hit on by creepy motherfuckers, and I'm like hot. I'm hot. I walked out of my home group right now. I'm
So you experienced a
super hot.
situation, a situation where some creepy
It's not
guy
just
was
one
hitting on you.
situation. It's every
That-
situation.
That's your everyday life.
This is
I
the norm.
have a question, and I might be being a dick by asking this.
You're probably gonna be a dick. Go ahead.
It's because you're the one who sticks up for girls who get hit on, and you're the one who taught me how to handle this situation a little more appropriately.
We even
or
had a
open my
show
eyes.
about it.
Yep.
So you still struggle with this and being assertive and being appropriate, obviously, because you're hot right now. I'm
I am.
assuming-
Meaning she's upset.
I'm assuming because your daughter was, and you're here, and you came in here correct that you didn't punch anybody or do any old acting.
No, I didn't. I didn't do anything.
But so this is still a struggle. At one point, can I share this?
Yeah,
About
go
your
for
phone
it.
number?
Go for it. Wait.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah. When I
definitely.
used
At
to.
one
Because that
point
changes the
in
whole
meeting,
standard for a meeting now.
All of us that went to a meeting, me, her, and Timmy, she still wanted her number out there, but if it had to be for meeting information and stuff, she put my number out there or gave guys my number, so guys would call me. thinking
Well,
they
because
could
when
get
I
on
was
her.
signing slips, which I'm signing slips at my home group right now, which I almost wrote down your number, but you
can
don't
still
go
do
to my
that.
home group.
Oh,
I was getting phone calls and text messages from people
Hitting
taking
on
my
you,
number
yeah.
off of their slip that I was signing for treatment and for probation, and that was really pissing me off.
Well, and unfortunately, we had that happen in a meeting we started here. So now
Uh-huh.
we have men's call list, we have women's call list, and we even
Ah,
make
I love that.
make a mention of that. But and you're right. Unfortunately, like I said, we had that show with you on, and you shared 2 different times. Like this is not ongoing, but I know at AFL you shared when you got your 2 years about
Yep.
it. Like
I sure did.
now, I wouldn't even say it's a struggle for you because
It's
it
just
sounds like it's just pissing you off tonight that it
It's
still
just
happens.
pissing me off because this is something that I can't control, basically, and it just makes me mad because I mean, for me, just sometimes it gets old dealing with it. So I think sometimes it
bet.
affects me more than others. It depends on what place I'm in, you know. But also, like, really, what pisses me off is that like we get newcomers that come into the rooms, and then like people with clean time, you know, take advantage of the vulnerability of that, and that's really what grinds my gears. Is that
Grinds
like
my gears.
it grinds my gears. It does, because it's like, you know, that's not what we're here for. Like, I didn't come here looking for a relationship. I don't go to meetings every week or whatever to look for a relationship. I'm here to get some recovery. I'm here to learn the spiritual principles. I'm here to learn and make friends, like real friends who aren't trying to fuck me. And like, it just pisses me off when people pretend. I know that like we're all sick. I know that we're all sick, okay? But it's just like some people. It just makes me mad because I wish
So,
that
like,
it
what's
did. I
the
just wish that
solution
it
for
didn't
those-
happen.
of course,
the
we don't.
solution is to, you know,
Like you
I don't
shared
know what
about it,
I don't
yes,
know.
but
Keep sharing about it. Honestly, like you can't control other people. There's nothing I can really do about what other people do.
right. And I would say
Which
to
is where I
one point,
get
like then find a new
frustrated.
meeting. But on the other hand, why should you have to find a new meeting?
Well, bro, do you know how many times I've
No,
switched
I
up my
know,
fucking
I
home
know,
group over
I
some
know-
shit
yes,
like this?
I know.
Over some shit like this. It's
So
just-
like, have you ever thought of, and now just putting it out there, like a woman's just a woman's.
Oh
meeting.
yeah, I've been going to lots of women's meetings. I actually was only going to women's meetings over the summer because of this.
And I know though you really like the meeting you're at. Like
Yep,
you really
I
get
know.
fed.
I do really like the meeting I'm at, and half the people in there have hit on me recently, and I'm just like, why? And I don't want to share about it because
Well, not
it's
there probably.
fucking uncomfortable.
Well,
yeah.
If I can interject here for just a minute.
Go for
Interject.
it.
I've seen that happen a lot in
Yeah.
my time. That there should be a group conscience. The safety of all the people that attend the meetings should be one of the utmost things that should be concentrated on. The group should do an inventory, is my suggestion, of course.
Right.
And there should be maybe something changed in the introductions and all that to let people know that 13 stepping is not allowed, that any inappropriate, you will be removed from the meeting, or people will talk to you afterwards about this. I've been involved in that a few times. for numerous, that, what you're discussing right now.
I have to.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to head off all that, I guess. And if there's a first step meeting or a lot of newcomers coming in, like you said, we're sick people. Right?
Yep.
I
just feel bad.
We have no principles yet.
Yeah.
So, but if it gets to a safety thing, and I think honestly, it's especially addressed towards women.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
Well, it happens to men too. Don't get me wrong. I know
to the
that, but
extent.
not to the same extent that I've experienced.
Mostly right. I have had
Yes.
the same thing happen to me from other guys.
What's going on with this Ackerman?
Yeah.
This is an Ackerman thing.
I don't
From,
know.
other,
It's
from
something
guys.
that's
It's not.
I know.
It's not an Ackerman thing.
I know.
To me, in my opinion, I've been to a lot of meetings.
You just broke my anonymity, motherfucker.
He said it earlier.
What do you think? What?
Yeah, he said it
It's
earlier.
okay. I'm just kidding. It's
Yeah,
fine.
go
I
ahead.
mean, if there's one, I don't want to get on my soapbox here or whatever. I think I know it.
Crawl up there, baby.
But I've been to a lot of meetings in my short 12 years in sobriety. A lot of meetings. And if there's anything that I would, maybe suggest or whatever out there, is that the group doesn't do its own inventory enough. And the group conscience that happens, and the group conscience is actually, speak with the intergroup. They actually have people come in
Or-
and do these group consciences to
Oh, wow.
make sure it's safe. I would check into that, talk to your
Or
squad
area.
leader.
Area.
Yep, squad leader.
It's NA she's talking about. But you know
Yep,
what?
Exactly. Okay.
Once that happened at this meeting we're talking about with the phone list, like we didn't even have a group conscious. You reached out to some key members, and when they said, "Is there any NA announcements?" For about a month, that was part of the announcements. Hey, we're here for recovery. If you're struggling, a man, you reach out to a man. Woman, you reach out to. I mean, what more above and beyond can you do until? I mean, like you said, after the meeting, pull someone aside. But then you don't want to. You're there to get recovery. You're not there to have to worrying about. You got your shield up, and how are you going to get fed recovery?
Well, that's what
when you
happened
got
to me
creepy
tonight. Is
shit?
I almost walked out of my meeting like 10 times because I couldn't hear anything anybody was saying because I was so upset because what
Right.
happened was like an addict reached out to me for a ride. They've been reaching out to me every week for like the past couple of months, and I don't give rides to men I don't know.
Right.
Because I'm by myself. I'm just a small female that's just stupid. I wasn't raised to
But
do
you
that.
carry a gun.
I was told. I wasn't
12
told.
guns.
I wasn't told to do that. So, can you, 1 second, please. You have to wait 1 second.
Get over here. Come on, go.
Okay, so what happened was I was reached out to give a ride and I was uncomfortable about this. I told the addict that I don't give rides to people that I don't know. That's just what it is. And then the addict continued to reach out to contact me and try and talk to me about the situation. And I was like, I don't want to give you an explanation because I don't have to give you an explanation for saying no. Like, I understand that, like, this is a giving program, and I give rides to women, and I give rides to people that I know because it's just safe. Like, it's a safety thing for me.
course.
But... So what happened was I had reconnected with this addict at an event, and they kept trying to talk to me during it was like a comedy show, and I was like, I'm trying to listen to the comedy show. I had to actually move chairs to get away to to watch the comedy event, and I moved chairs, and another addict had approached me and was trying to talk to me and asked me out on a date, and I was like, I'm literally moving around this room just trying to participate in this event, avoiding men trying to hit on me, and I was like, this is ridiculous, actually.
As your brother and as people like who are in the program or I'm in charge of them, like as their sober house manager stuff, watching them change the subject or get scared around me.
The addicts that I'm referring to have over 10 years clean. The addicts that I'm referring to both have over 10 years
And
clean.
now
So
that's where
this
that's
is where
wrong,
I'm
yeah.
like irritated because like I know that you
know
fucking know better and you're just doing it anyways. And it's not that I'm a newcomer. I'm kind of a newcomer. I'm coming up on 4 years, so I mean I'm in between. But still, like I was in a vulnerable place during that time. That was right after me and my boyfriend had broken up, and it's just like I hate that like that's a thing where like as soon as I'm like in a vulnerable place, it's like all the creepers come out and they're like, oh, let me be your friend. But you're not trying to be my friend. You're trying to ask me out on a date, and you're trying to take advantage of the fact that I'm in a vulnerable situation instead of trying to be my friend and doing the right thing that that we're taught here. And that's where I get irritated, is because I know that you fucking know better.
So, do you think with your home group right now, and I know you're only there for so much longer, but still, you could be saving the next girl from walking out and dying.
One should be making visits and
And
probably
whatever
wants
the
to come
case,
back to her home group.
Well, yeah, I do.
didn't know it was people
100%.
with multiple years, but do you think that is something that could be brought up in a group conscience, or you talk to some of the heads of that meeting about this? Because not just about yourself, but what if that next pretty newcomer girl walks in and does not return to the rooms thinking every meeting is like that?
Yeah, and that's why I've said something in the past at other meetings. I'm just like tired of it. Like today, I could have shared about it in the meeting, but it was like more men than women, and I really didn't want to like. I don't know. I was like, it just kind of happened, so like I'm just gonna take a step back. I left early and I came here instead because I didn't want to. I wanted to think about it before I confronted the situation.
You came in here.
I came in here inside. I came in here hot. But I mean, probably like I will find a way to kind of somehow say. See, the problem is that like I could talk about this till I'm blue in the face, but that doesn't mean that these people are going to change the way they behave.
No.
So it's difficult because it just kind of is the way it is. It doesn't matter what meeting I go to or where I go to. This happens everywhere at every meeting. You know,
I wanna
There's
point
some girls out there
something
like, that's bullshit. That won't ever happen to me.
it will.
Are you open to something? I want to point something out.
What?
I like when you
So-
do that because there's no way she's going to know what you're saying. But
Well, when I say that, she's assuming the worst now.
I
And
am.
about
I'm
to
assuming the
compliment
worst of the worst.
because of the way our relationship is, and we're both dicks. But so I'm proud of you because I want to point out that you coming in here hot right now is a lot different than even last time this year coming in hot, swearing, threatening people.
there'd have been
Oh, I
60
did that
F-words
in the
by now.
car on the
I
way
know,
here.
I know.
I called another addict
know,
and I
but
did
look,
that. I swore the whole
You're
drive
smiling,
here.
You're articulate. You're self-aware. You're handling it like maybe a productive member of society would.
Yeah, I
So-
needed 10 minutes.
Yeah, as
And
opposed
you've gotten
to a
that way
day.
too, though, lately. Like, you get a lot better with
So-
letting that out. Go ahead.
I'm proud of you, and I think you're doing a great job. And this is a perfect area. And you now have 3 different men in various different levels of recovery and sobriety. And if we can't offer help or advice, you've given us stuff to bring on to other men.
Yeah, and you know, as I said, if it's
NA.
if it's well, it's not an Alamo then. So there would be, you would have some type
code of conduct.
Yep, some bigger meetings have committees or people that have been.
Well, see,
the
the situations haven't actually happened, like, per se, in the meeting. I suppose last week it was the same addict that was asking me for a ride that was offering me, like, wanted me and my daughter to come up to their cabin with them. And this is somebody that I don't know at all. And so it's just like a lot of people don't really have a sense of what I'm getting, what I'm feeling like is that there's like not a sense of like social
Inappropriateness.
like appropriateness, right? Like I wouldn't walk up to a stranger that I just met and invite them to spend the weekend alone with me, especially a stranger of the opposite sex, even a stranger of the same sex. That was creepy as fuck.
Hello.
Until I'm not interested, leave me alone.
Yeah, I did. And it's just like they don't understand. And it's like I'm not trying to be rude here because like we're all here to recover, but at the same time, like you need to understand like appropriateness within talking to the opposite sex because like I'm not your boy.
And
I'm
you
not
know
your
what? The
dude.
thing
And
is-
I get you know what I mean? And like you be saying stuff to me that sounds really fucking creepy.
But the multiple years of recovery is what throws me off. Is that
Oh
this is
my
a person
God.
with multiple years like that?
But just because what we've talked about many
I know,
times, and what we
years
talked
don't
about last
recover-
week,
that don't
recovery does
equal
not
recovery.
clean
I
time
know.
does not
When
equal
I
recovery.
What I challenge men or women, when you're talking to a member of the opposite sex in this situation, this is just my personal challenge, because I've had to. Imagine if that was your daughter or your sister.
Exactly.
How would you feel? If someone talked to your mom that way, how would you feel? How would that make you feel? Or your brother, dad, or son, how would that make you feel?
Well, a long time ago at one of my old home groups, like years and years and years ago, we did have an issue with one of the members who was constantly hitting on newcomers or whatever. And what we had a group conscious about it, and what we had decided to do was have the experienced members in the group sit that member
Like you were
down
saying.
and explain to them about how their behaviors were inappropriate. Now, this member did not listen to them, but that was basically the next the best option that we had to deal with it at the time, because it's not like we can ban you if nothing really is, you know what I mean? Like we don't want to exclude any member from the program at all.
If they're harming someone else from their recovery,
If there's safety issues,
yes.
they are told not to come back.
But it was borderline like not safe, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like
Yeah.
they were
even though it was
they weren't
creepy-
assaulting
right,
anybody.
It is a
So it was
Then
like
that's what's bullshit and sucks.
That's no.
But so like
I
what I'm
operate in
saying
this
is that
world
I
as a
think that
safety
like
guy.
everybody always
I can't-
assumes that there's like this bystander effect, right? Like when we see stuff happen, oh, somebody else will say something about it or somebody else will deal with it, so I don't have to. But see, the thing is like for women in the program, we really kind of need other men in the program to stand up and say, hey, the way you behaved towards that woman was inappropriate, and kind of help guide them to learn. Because I mean, we're all sick here and we're all trying to learn, but like, you know, it comes differently. If I'm like, hey, Tad, the way you talked to me was inappropriate, you might not respond to that as well as if he said that to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. An elder statesman.
Yeah,
Or
of the
if
same
Tim-
sex. Or
if
if
Tim
Tim
was
said that
like-
to you.
Right.
Hey, bro, dude, when we're on the
And
phone,
it
like
doesn't have to be assault.
you're
No,
kind
no,
of,
no,
you're
I
kind
know.
of being
Inappropriate
sexist. Calm down.
Yeah, inappropriate behavior at any meeting. Alanos, for instance, will suspend you for.
And
time.
I've
yeah,
been
we have
at
a lot of
venues where people have been
I'm the
safety
suspended.
guy
I've been
here.
involved in some of the boards on in some of the Alanos up north.
That's my job here.
Yep, exactly. So if there's a continuation of it doesn't gotta be over the top.
Mm-hmm.
It just has to be inappropriate, just saying the wrong thing towards a woman, and in some cases, the other way around.
Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes
Both
it's just
ways
a
kind of thing,
warning.
whatever. If there's something that continues in these, and someone's not willing to change that, I've been in situations where we've asked that person, where you're no longer welcome here at this
Right.
meeting.
Which that just sucks, because it's like, you
But,
know, nobody.
you
I
know, it
because
sucks
it sucks
more that
because
you
we get
want
here
to
and
that.
nobody knows how to have a healthy relationship. We don't know how to have a healthy relationship with
And
ourselves,
it's-
with the opposite sex,
Right,
same
and like
sex.
Tim
We're
was-
kind of
Like when you said this, these people, you know, we can still be pretty sick after 10, 20.
oh,
Yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it might have been some newcomers.
No,
but if
that's
it's
why I
if it's
came in here
newcomers,
hot.
You let them know that you maybe change the introduction of the meetings, letting them
Right.
know that this is inappropriate.
Well,
they
because
might
they
not
don't
even
know.
know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My-
So you'll
My
be-
girlfriend's
so-
pretty good
And you're
about
right,
doing
sometimes
that
it takes
with people,
men to talk to
setting
the
boundaries.
men,
Yeah.
because they're not gonna, at this point, they probably don't, they have some issues towards the opposite sex.
Yep.
It's the way they were raised or whatever the case, and where they're at with their change in personality in their program, frankly, that it needs to be addressed.
Well, yeah, because definitely some of the times they're going to be thinking to themselves, I'm being nice. Why is she freaking out? They don't know. I didn't know how to talk to no one in early recovery.
Here's what I tell newcomers
Shit.
when they come in, I go, do not talk to any women yet. You need to work on yourself.
No, he's straight up. Like,
Don't,
No.
don't
yeah.
even,
Leon
don't even
used to
think
tell me
about getting in a relationship because you don't love anything yet. You have nothing to offer.
There you
Yep.
go.
That's what I tell
No,
you.
that's true though. It's 100% true.
Get to your 9th step, then talk to me.
But here's the thing. We alluded this earlier. It's like we're in this time too. Is I don't want to hurt your feelings,
Ugh.
Oh my god.
and that's an unfortunate because it goes all around.
It is. It does though. It
How you
does.
feel really doesn't matter to me right now.
I
It's what
understand.
you do.
Rod,
Right.
you understand that. I understand that.
Well, feeling
But
is
it's not
temporary.
it's not this this
And you're
you
right.
know.
It does take some of I want to say elders or people that have experience in the group, some of the bigger groups
Healthy.
out there have a somewhat of a committee. A lot of them. Well, good luck on that if you get in the wrong group.
Yeah.
You'll have women all over you, and they'll.
Oh, yes.
They will be on you after the meeting, and you.
I learned that early, and look at me, shit. And I learned that.
It's an issue. It is. You trust me. You're not the only one.
I know that I'm
You
not
know
the
that.
only one, and it's just frustrating because I wish there was like a better solution to this.
I know,
And
what-
they're like
For
really.
your well-being, even though I know you like that group, I just met you.
Yep.
So you may want to take a break from that.
And see, that's the better solution, and that
I
sucks.
know. I get it.
Because
But
it's
here's
shit.
the other. I've heard many
Honestly,
why
it's a
should
shit
she
solution.
have to be the one to go?
Well, because I want
Right.
to stay clean.
There you go. Wow, bigger person. She has grown a lot.
Right.
That's
know,
not
this
the
isn't
Tara who
about-
was on our show a year ago.
And here's the funny thing. You actually got to pray for them.
I know. Well, and
Ah, shit.
I know.
Look at
I
Ron.
know, right?
That's 12 years of knowledge.
Ugh.
He said you got to pray for him.
I want to tell you one thing
You're
that
good.
I have seen work, and I'll credit my girlfriend because I've seen her do this with weird people who have violated her boundary, and I've watched them be creepy. And so, and I've just seen it work. I've had to step back because me and her have an agreement. Unless she says, "Tad, I need your help." She's an adult.
Yeah.
So I don't come running in like, "Stay away from my girlfriend."
Yeah.
You know, that's inappropriate, and
Yep.
Mandy's an adult. So I step back if she expresses concern, then
How does she deal with that though?
it's time for the big guy to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
what he's
raw.
gotta
You
do.
put on the gloves and it's go
Yeah,
time.
Absolutely. But so I have seen her literally say, "You're violating my boundaries," and I'm a little weirded out. I'm going to ask you to step back, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you do that again, we're probably not going to talk anymore. All right?
So and she'll and you know the key
I've
thing
watched
with
her
that
do this.
but a key thing with that too is just sing it to that person.
Pretty
Not out
calm.
loud, not put them
Yeah,
on
just with
blast.
them. A
Yep.
couple times I've been there because
Right.
we've been friends a while, and even like we've had guys come up and violate boundaries knowing I'm her boyfriend, and I'm like,
Right.
I don't like that.
Well,
guy.
I think but I think you did hit it from Jump Street like we're sick.
No,
But that is not a justification for those actions. It's really not.
And it's hard for me if it happens in front of me, but I
Well,
have
of
to
course,
handle
if it happens to
because
her
me,
or Mandy.
they're fucking disrespecting me, and that's where I go because I'm selfish.
it's
When people
I was
hit
just
on
gonna
you
say
in front of
that,
me,
yeah.
So you're disrespecting me.
Yeah.
It doesn't become
When he
about
turns
the
his head like
actual
that, he's
problem.
real
I
calm.
know.
He's like, you're disrespecting me.
Disrespecting me
That
and
shit
then-
right there. Ah.
And I start getting into ways I can fuck them over.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
And
I
I
love
gotta stop
Ted.
that because that's not what it is. Because the whole reason I'm mad is because they hurt my sister. or they
Right,
hurt my
yeah.
girlfriend. But I made it about me because I'm
Yep.
selfish, and that's what happens when I get angry. It becomes about me. So like that situation with you. Mm-hmm. I guess I don't want to go into details about that on the air, but some shit happened, and
The one
after
here?
oh yeah, a couple
Yeah.
times, and having dealt with that, like that's how I learned.
I
Not
know.
the only reason, but learn to advocate for women. Her and my girlfriend. I have Mandy on call if a woman is harassed.
Right.
And they don't want to file an incident report or talk to the police to talk to them.
Right.
So a girl can
Which is
talk to
so
them.
fucked up. It's so not right
But,
the way this is.
well, the way society makes them
I
feel
know,
that
I
they
know.
shouldn't do that. You
Yeah.
shouldn't
Yep.
do that because they're going to get in trouble. Well, you know what? A crime's a crime.
yeah.
And
Yep.
if you don't do something about it, then maybe more girls.
Well, and you know what? And just not to get all biggie, but I was listening to an interview with she's the young girl, 19 now. Oh my God! But it's a pop artist. She was on Howard Stern talking about she's been violated like 3 different times, multiple reasons she didn't want to give this person attention. She didn't go to the police 3 different times. I keep wanting to meet Miley Cyrus. It's not her.
Billie Eilish.
Yes, Billie Eilish.
Yep.
She was just on with
yeah.
old Phineas, and she wrote a song about it. Don't abuse your power. And 3 different times while she's been a minor, she didn't come out and say molested, but she was inappropriately treated. The behaviors towards her, like it was when she's hanging out with some rap groups, but she's like, most of all, she didn't want to be in a spotlight of poor me and the way society turns it into. Like that don't make you weak because someone violates you. It is unfortunate.
Absolutely.
So the last suggestion I would have on that is, and I think it'd be after you exhaust group conscious is area. Like I know the person, area chair, she would be a huge advocate
It's a
against that, but
different
I know that's
area.
going kind of
It's a
big.
It's a different area.
Oh,
So, I mean, the thing is that, you know, there's only a little bit that can be done. Like I can move groups and I can confront the people individually, like every individual person that has done this. I can confront them and tell them that like I don't appreciate that the way that they've treated me and they've been crossing my boundaries, and like as a fellow member in the program, like I would appreciate it if you looked at me as a fellow member and not some girl
Right.
that you can hit on.
like I'm
you
here
know?
for recovery, and
And I
it.
can confront it that way, and it might have a better effect that way because
Yeah,
they do have
keep
some
it about
clean
recovery.
time. They do have some clean
That-
time, so they should be receptive to that. But I don't know. You know, we don't get to pick how people react to things.
Right.
But ultimately, it's gonna happen again and again and again and again, because that's just like.
So is that where it comes your responsibility to make sure the next girl doesn't have it happen to?
Well, I can't.
That's a lot
not
of
my
weight
re-
on
that's not
your
my
fucking shoulders.
It's not my responsibility, and B, that there's no way I could possibly prevent that from happening.
I'm
to
just glad
anyone.
you see it that way though.
You know,
because some would
I can
feel,
just
you know,
I can either stand up to them myself or I cannot. It doesn't really matter because I mean, I could say something and they could continue behaving that way, or I could not say something and they could continue. It kind of doesn't really matter. But I just came in frustrated because,
you mean hot.
yeah, because it is a thing that just will continue to happen. So I mean, for me, like I'm gonna start focusing on some women's meetings like I was doing over the summer because it doesn't happen in women's meetings, thank God. And
Yet.
I have a question for both of you about
that's the best avenue to kind of avoid that is that to just attend women's meetings, which I'm saying is just a shitty solution because we're supposed to be welcome at both meetings, and it's just sad that women aren't as protected at a regular meeting where it's co-ed versus a women's meeting. Because I know if I go into a women's meeting, nothing like that's going to happen. I could share about anything that I want to, and I'm going to be understood, and it's going to be what it is. But if I go to a co-ed meeting, if I were to share about this at a co-ed meeting, it would be controversial.
Well, now
you
here's the
know?
question that someone just asked me for both our guests, both of you, and I'm going to start with you, I think, Tara, because you're about to allude to it, I think. Going only to a same-sex group meeting, are you losing the value of hearing
Yes.
recovery from the opposite sex?
Yes, you are, because we are trying to learn how to have relationships with both same-sex and opposite-sex people, where it be platonic or not. And we're trying to learn how to have relationships. And how am I supposed to do that if I only attend same-sex meetings? But the problem is I attend both sex meetings, and then I get scared away because I constantly get hit on, and then I go back to the same-sex meetings, and that's been my recovery.
So how do
the
you?
whole
What's your
time.
thoughts on that, Ron?
So.
Do you feel if you only go to stag meetings, are you somehow depleting some?
You could go in a group.
She wants to 4 up.
My experience of the meetings I've been to, and like I said, when I went to the sober house, I was required to go to, I signed a commitment to go to 4 meetings a week. So I had 2 men's meetings and 2 co-ed meetings, if you want to call it.
I was hoping you were going to say women's meetings, like.
Men's and women's. I went to a women's meeting, they kicked me out. It's really funny.
I've attended a women's meeting as the only man, and it sucked.
Yep. Even yep, I imagine so. I tell you what, when men are new, and in the early days especially, or whatever the case, a lot of the sponsees that I got, and I had my number out a lot at Salvation Army and treatment centers and all that, I directed them towards the men's meeting. I just believe this, that as men in recovery, or as I look at myself, I didn't treat women the way they should have been treated before I was using.
Right.
They were an object to a certain extent. Yeah, I did love a few women, that kind of stuff, but I didn't have much to offer because I was a practicing alcoholic.
Right.
And addict. So I need to work on myself. The last thing I need to be looking at is women and trying to get a relationship with them right away in early sobriety I'm referring to or whatever, before I've done some of the work, because I need to work on myself. Like I said a little bit this before, I don't have a lot to offer right now at this
Right.
point.
In early recovery.
And normally, if I'm talking to women at this point, and this is my experience, I'm thinking to myself, and the way I was when I first came to the program, and I'm flat out honest with you, is that there was kind of one thing I was looking for, type of thing.
Right, right.
So let's just be honest with each other here, right? So when it comes to before I start to finally. But I also need, like you were just alluding to too, I need to learn from the opposite sex about recovery and about maybe and some of the feelings.
Even
they've
some
gone
life
through.
lessons, boundaries,
Yeah.
and yeah.
I was, women want to save the men, and the men want to get with the women.
Right.
And that's kind of the way it is, when we came into sobriety. That's just my experience.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be way off base, and maybe it's
No, that's your
maybe it's my own
experience.
effed up mind,
No, but that's your
just the way it was.
experience.
I mean, before I had sobriety, I never had sex sober.
Right.
Right.
I shared about that. Yes.
That's my deal.
Right.
That's what happened. I was actually fearful
Yeah.
of having
Sober
when I started to meet some
relations.
girls or whatever, and one of my sponsors finally told me I was able to go out into the world now and talk to people. And by my 8th or 9th step, I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody for a while there, right?
Right.
Nor should I be. But that was new to me, and it was fearful. I've never I was a selfish son of a bitch. I was never used to doing this and caring about somebody and thinking about their feelings. I was only involved with what I was thinking about myself. So to answer that question, I think at first I think it's a good idea to stay with the same sex in early sobriety. That's just my experience, I guess. But I was in a mix. I was in mixed meetings right off the bat.
Right.
But the meetings I went to made it clear, and it was actually in their in the squad leader.
The opening.
It was in the meetings.
13 stepping is not a place for 13 stepping. And when you broke into some of these groups, some women want to be with just the women.
Yep.
And some men want to be with, I think some of the bigger meetings out there.
Yeah.
Has been my experience. You didn't do that. So, and eventually, because as I start to grow and my personality changes, and I start to become a person that's lovable,
Yeah.
that thing changes. So, but we're human beings. We're going to be
Yep.
attracted to certain people. We may, we've all met people that have met in sobriety.
Yeah.
But they've been clean. But we also know that there's
Time doesn't equal recovery.
We work on ourselves constantly, and some of us aren't. You can still be sick to a certain extent.
I didn't. You know what? I didn't even kiss. I just in the last 2 months was the first time I've kissed a girl sober in my life, my entire life. Like sometimes that's just. I was telling my brother that the other day. Like I haven't had one day since I was 13 at 0.
And there were some, and I think for the most part, almost all men for this, it's men that are approaching women. Of course,
Yeah.
That has been my experience. That they are told by men and women in that group, and if nobody's doing that, it should be done. It should be a group deal.
Yeah.
Of course, some of the smaller groups might be a little bit different. I'm not familiar with the other groups there, NA or whatever. But someone should be stepping in, or you bring somebody from the other group, or you talk to the district or something like that and get somebody there to. At the end of the day, safety needs to be number one too. People need to feel safe to come to a meeting.
Preach it,
Because
brother.
if it's happening to somebody, it's happening everywhere.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too. And you said this kind of jokingly, Tara, but you're not putting no one else out there, but find a recovery buddy. Someone that you know is gonna
Oh,
like
yeah,
not your
I've done
brother
that.
every
I've done
time,
that
but
plenty of
I know.
times.
That's trying to throw up in some.
We're
I'm
trying
just
to help
saying
other
that
people who
I'm
might
just
be
saying
going
that
through
it
this and
sucks
don't
that
know.
like women have to
Yes.
resort to that
Yes.
just to go to a meeting to feel safe in a meeting. That's why I was upset when I came here, because that's not fair.
I do want to.
That's why I was like, I'm so sick of being a woman
Right.
being
It
women
just kinda
in
built up
recovery
tonight,
because
yeah.
it sometimes it kind of fucking sucks. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna
Oh,
lie.
I can't imagine.
And
I
at the end
do-
of the day, some people have behavioral problems.
Yeah.
that some
Most of
they
us do.
You're right about that. And
Us, I like that.
can't fix. So the last solution I would say is kind of what Tim's saying is bring a couple people that maybe this other person, whatever.
I know the group she goes to. I want
Meet
to.
before or after the meeting and
Yeah.
say,
To go there
hey,
now.
she's not interested.
Right.
Do not ask her anymore, or in the other case, do not ask him anymore. They are not interested
Right.
in a relationship here. If you do it again, you're out of this
Right.
meeting.
I want to
You're
believe
out.
this meeting she's going to that there are specific people that if it were brought up, I'd want to
Yeah.
think.
It's normally
It would. I didn't have the chance to talk about it tonight because I've just been dealing with it with the person
Right.
individually, and it's not working.
Well, hopefully now, because we're getting so damn big on this podcast, it's gonna reach that meeting. They're gonna know what.
Your head just like blew
It's
the
already a
fuck
big deal
up.
now,
Like,
Tim.
oh my god.
When haven't I been a big
Just
deal?
Tim, just Tim.
Just
Tim.
Tim's
I'm
the big
humble
deal?
Tad today, so just
You're humble, Tad. Tad's going to work today.
So you know what? We got about
Tad's getting
oh
ready for
shit.
work right now.
We're at about 13 minutes.
I'm not even going to Jack's. I'm going to College Town, Sally's.
That sounds like
When did we
fun.
do? Oh, go ahead.
Yep, there's newcomers out there, or whatever the case, or you don't think you're at where you think you should be at, whatever, for recovery and all that. Keep on praying, talk to your sponsor, get to some meetings, get out of yourself out there. The promises will come true, of course, if you work for them. I'm blessed, and when I talk about promises or gifts, I'm not talking about financial stuff. I'm talking about relationships back. There was people in my family that didn't want to see Ron anymore.
Right.
Am I speaking to the third person? I think
Yes,
You
yes.
are.
I
And-
knew it, and I approve
Just
of
stop.
it.
Just
We're
stop.
friends.
Yeah,
We
let's
just
cut
became
that
best
out.
friends, Ron.
But,
This is live. We can't go back.
you know, can't. So,
Tad is friends with
you
Ron.
know, it's a blessing that people see the change in us before we do.
Yep.
Oh, that's true.
And believe it or not, that's true, and that came true in my life. People when I first, before this program, I wasn't invited to certain places and certain Christmases and certain family events. And the ones that I would go to with the immediate family, I could see the look in my family's eyes about, oh my gosh, what's Ron gonna be like this year?
Right.
Or what's he gonna do, and that kind of thing. And now it's different now. They love me. I'm a lovable person now. I'm invited places, and believe it or not, I'm actually asked for input. I hesitate to use the word advice.
Isn't that crazy?
But they want me in their lives again. That's a true gift. I did good. I came back from sales and I won a couple cars and all that stuff, and that's all material.
What kind of
stuff.
cars? I know we're
won a
running down in
Jaguar,
time.
And
Yeah.
then I want to. We were kind of like not a boiler room, but kind of.
Yeah, you were.
We were sales.
You were a boiler room.
And I had the mouth for it. Let's put it that way. But my sponsor's like, get over yourself. They go, oh boy, because here's the problem. There's only one thing worse than a bad thing happening to an alcoholic, and that's
It's a good thing.
happening to an
Yes.
alcoholic. So, that my sponsor's like, okay, well, simmer. You okay? You're
Simmer
good?
down.
You're good. You're not a big shot now. You're not cured or nothing. So, there's things just start to happen. I mean, it's when I talk about making amends and stuff like that, it's most of the time they go right. Book says 9 times out of 10.
Right.
Sometimes I'll get a door slam in my face. Sometimes I'll get told. I love when my sponsor told me I had to pay interest back on the money I borrowed, or money I took or borrowed, whatever you want to put
Yeah.
it. Yep. So, but that was a little bit of tough love there, and that helped me grow. How free do you want to be? Continue to work the program. We're never done. I'm not done until I get buried.
Yeah.
That was your synopsis?
Yep. So, you just got to change one thing. That's everything, no matter where you're at and what anonymous group, in my opinion, my experience, I should say, during the holidays here to piggyback on what Matt was saying, which he did a great job with, have an exit program. Number one in my book, this is not a selfish program. It's a get out of self program. But if I have to watch out for myself and keep away from something that might trigger me, I need to, like it says in the book, that I need to have a reason to be there.
Yep.
I don't have a reason to be at a bar meeting friends, like one of the stories says. Went to the bar to sell a car,
Right.
and all of a sudden I'm putting whiskey and milk, right? So I
Ew.
don't know. That's one of my favorite little stories. In there. Make sure I have a reason there. That there's no such thing in my book, I guess, as an accidental relapse. You're just
No.
looking for a reason. You're not allowed to relapse. Let's put it that way.
No. The only thing you have to do perfectly in this thing is not pick up.
Yep, exactly. So,
Wow, that's a good closing. You heard me say we're down to 13 minutes, and you smashed all that out. Good job, Don.
All right, guys, we got to get into wrap up
there we
now. We're gonna get right into gratitude. So Tim, what are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for my mommy. I'm grateful for my dad. I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful for friends, the connections. Someone once told me back in my treatment that the opposite of addiction is connection. It keeps rolling back around to that in my life, that the connections I have, it's the phone calls. I can sit and talk to people now for hours on end. Like, the opposite of my addiction is connection today. I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful that it keeps raining through true every time I hang the phone up with someone, or every time I get done with a conversation with someone in recovery about growth or something to that effect. It's not how my calls used to be. It's not how my interactions used to be. And that is the opposite of addiction for me, is connection. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for these life lessons. The last thing I'm going to say about that is, like, the lessons that I've learned. It's some of the most impactful lessons that I've ever received, or I had to learn in spite of myself. I resisted them. I've denied them, but ultimately the weight of their truth became unavoidable. So, Tara, what are you grateful for this week?
I'm grateful for saving money on my car insurance.
But that's real talk.
No, that's actually real. So the thing is I've been paying like $700 a month for my motorcycle and my car, which is like probably outrageous. You guys are like, what the hell? Because because my driving record is shit because I have a bunch of DWIs. But this month is when they fall off, and so I got new quotes through different insurance agencies that would not insure me from previously because I had too many DWIs. I'm now paying $300 a month instead of $700. So, bro, I'm saving a lot of motherfucking money every month. So I am grateful that I have not used. I have no more DWIs, and I can now finally get my insurance to, like, it's still expensive for most people, but like this is nothing compared to what I was paying before. So I'm grateful for being clean and life continuing to get better.
Cool. Matt, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for my recovery family and my family in itself. You know, in my treatment group, like everybody, pretty much anybody in my life right now.
Nice. Give us your quote.
All right. The gift of oneself is the greatest thing we can give. Be present.
Nice. Hey, Ron, what are you grateful for tonight?
I am grateful. Well, first of all, that first step. I remember reminding myself of the first step, which we kind of lead it off with a little bit. I remember being in the sober house. This just popped in my mind real quick. That I had to remind myself of how unmanageable I was, and I took my bank statements when I was using and put them up on the wall so I could see all the money that I spent. And then one of the gifts I had that I actually had an extra paycheck once I got sober, which was amazing, if not two. Anyway, and I actually paid my bills on time. But more to the point, that just kind of popped in my head. Anyway, to remind me of my first step, how unmanageable, powerless I was. I am absolutely grateful for the gift of sobriety. I am very grateful that at the Mayflower Hotel, Bill didn't go to the bar. He walked to the phone and called Dr. Bob. I'm very grateful for that. Throw a little history at you guys.
Yes, you did.
And then I am grateful for family and being involved in people's lives and being able. Very grateful right now for being able to look myself in the mirror and like what I see.
Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Tad.
Oh, I was going to skip me today.
No, I need to know what you're grateful
No,
for.
Tad, what are you grateful for?
Remember what I used to say at the beginning of the show? I ain't grateful for shit. I'm just kidding.
Oh, my God.
So you're tired.
We got work to do.
Yeah.
We're going to be here for a
I'm
long
grateful
time.
For everyone in my life. And I'm just going to say this. So, I got a wonderful girlfriend. I got wonderful friends. There was a situation that maybe wouldn't have gone down the way it was, and me and her were trying to make some decisions in our recovery to help people. And people in my life that would benefit if we chose the situation were like, hey, if you make this decision, it's going to be hard on your relationship. I've done it. It sucks. So, and they didn't have to do that because this benefits them. And they could be like, adios, bye, thanks for taking it for us.
Right.
And the fact that now I've been able to have conversations with, so she went and talked to her people, I went and talked to my people. We're letting it simmer for a week. And I'm grateful to have gained all this support and that people have respect enough for me to be honest with me and to, they believe in me, but I get to learn from their experience. Like, that's pretty cool. It
Yeah.
wasn't always like that. We are going to skip buzzer beaters because I have a
Final
thoughts.
Final
with Tad, but
thoughts.
Before
with
that,
Tad.
we want to thank Ron.
Yeah. Hey, Ron. Thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for my recovery, and thank you for stepping up tonight. I really appreciate you. I love you, man.
I love
Thank
guys
you.
Too. Yep, thanks for
Thank you for being here and helping me in life.
Next week, we have our Christmas show.
Christmas show, big giveaways, lots of giveaways.
I got some pictures.
Pictures,
native
literatures,
from me and Tara's
gear.
mom. She gave us some pictures from some famous native artist. I got
Yeah,
about
that's
7 of them.
huge. We got donations coming from local
She
businesses.
didn't give you mine, did she?
No, she
Okay.
didn't.
We got donations coming from local businesses to give away on the
We got
show.
some books.
We got gift cards. We got gear. We got some
Heck
Hope
yeah.
Dealer stuff being given away.
Yep.
It's a huge show next week. We got JP coming in for
I
his.
want to say a joke so bad, but I'm not going.
I just found a really funny meme.
Oh, here we go.
Tara,
No,
cut in quick. Do your funny meme.
come on.
Okay, it's dark. So anyways, it's like therapy be like, we will not end the nightmare, we will only explain it.
We won't end therapy.
Sometimes that's how it be.
2218, that's where we got this podcast going through. I just real quick promo it is this is the place where a lot of things happen. Ron talked about being here 40 plus years ago. We had a guest on 2 weeks ago during Indigenous Day who was here 50 plus years ago. This place saves lives. If you want to be part of it, come on down. There's tons of meetings, all different fellowships, tons of service work to be had here. If you're able to donate, hop on the link that young Matt put on our website. And please donate. Otherwise, come on down and volunteer your time. It's just as important. And you're never alone out there. Anyone listening, you are loved. You're not alone.
You have people reach out to me or Timmy.
Yes,
If we can't help you,
100%.
we'll find someone. If you're a woman and you reach out to us, we're probably going to refer you to like my sister. Or
We got a lane. We got plenty of
my girlfriend.
resources.
We got people. So in closing, before we go off the air, we're going to do a segment I've only done 2 other times called Final Thoughts with Tad.
And now, final thoughts with Tad.
Hey guys, it's your local friendly neighborhood Tad. That was a tribute to the Spider-Man movie that came out yesterday. Remember, how you treat people, because you never know, because people are watching you.
Yeah.
Whatever position, whether you're a meeting chair, wherever, you're someone's elder. You're going where someone hasn't gone, and they're looking to you for your behaviors. You never know if you're going to be in that situation, or what opportunities, or a similar situation, and what opportunities you can wreck in the future by how you act. In the program, we're taught to have compassion. So that being said, know that everyone's going through something. We don't know what they're going through. We don't know what they've been through. You never know what's on someone's heart or what triggers they have, what trauma, and you never know if it's going to happen to you. So just remember that. Be kind, show love, and treat people how you would want to be treated if you were in that situation, or how you would have wanted to be treated when you were going through what you're going through. You know what? That goes double for yourself. Treat yourself with a little bit of forgiveness and kindness too. And I understand that can be effing challenging sometimes. I know. But we're trying to be better people. Give yourself and other people a break. Happy holidays, guys. We will definitely see you next week, or hear you, whatever. You know what I mean. We love you from all of us here at Attitude for Gratitude. From Ron, Tim, Matt, myself. See you next week.
It's and I.
Love yas.
Yep. Take care of each other out there.
Kill it.